They say that tranquility is where legends are made of and dreams come true. Well, today we will be having memes become reality and legends born in the wackiest tomfoolery known to man. Welcome to the Tranquility Offseason GOATS Tournament. My name is Phoebe Wonder. I will be your play-by-play caster, and I am joined by the wonderful Willowtron.
Hello. How are you feeling today? I'm a little bit more both nervous and excited than usual. I'll be honest, I've not cast GOATS before. I barely played GOATS before, at least when it was originally around in Overwatch 1. So I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. Overall, how are you feeling?
The only thing you need to know, Willow, is that you know how when you go into a game and the entire enemy team all presses Q at the same time, and then your
hmm
entire team
hmm
calls them nerds for doing that? This is essentially a math decathlete because that is what you're going to see every single fight. You're going to see 12
Yeah.
volts back to back to back, and we're going to hope that the match lobbies do not crash. It's going to be a wonderful time. Brawls will last for 2 minutes on end. It'll go to overtime, and then the other team will take it, and it will go on forever. But I'm excited because I have not casted GOATs either, and I think it's going to be absolutely hectic to watch. It's going to be a wonderful time, and we have two wonderful teams here as well. Wooper Fan Club and Flemborg and the Slumbos.
There's a name. We were talking about that in the setup period. We're going to have a time with not just our compositions and our overall 6v6 energy, but also saying Flemborg and the Slumbos is going to be an absolute treat. I think that is one thing that we can look at in particular is, if we've not cast GOATs before, it's entirely possible that there's at least someone out of all of our teams that we'll be seeing over the next couple of weeks who's not played GOATs before either, not at least originally when it was first around. So seeing how these players tackle kind of not necessarily a new meta, but one that's so well established is going to be interesting to say the least.
Yep, you see here, both teams are clashing in the middle on top of Mecha Base. You have Jags and Cordal getting very low on the side of the Flemborg. Absolute brawl now. They're able to survive with so much healing. Telmcom was 19 HP, is able to live, gets down low again. Everyone is just trying to keep them healed up as much as possible. Absolute brawl, but the Reinhardt is the first one to fall. Flemborg is going through. They're able to catch a total of 2 people so far before Mind Goblin gets demexed by a whip shot. Asuna takes down the other brig, and then suddenly it looks like Flemborg and the Slumbos are going to be taking this first capture right off the bat. So let's see how Wooper Fan Club is able to come back from this.
Well, just off the end behind nice and away from the team. It sounds very engaged. It looks like they're having a massive time getting it. Shadow does come out a little early. We can see the lobby slowing down to prevent a crash coming through. Already, all teams coming from just like you said, and the Diva Bomb that finds 2 to start it off.
Mind Goblin is able to find 2 more with the Diva Bomb as Jags finds a pin onto Telmcom. Tri falls down as well. You can see here that these ults are building so extremely fast with all the burst, all the healing. It isn't enough to take anyone down, so it's just taking forever for anyone to fall. As soon as that happens, the entire brick wall that is the GOATS comp just immediately crumples and the entire team wastes away. It is absolutely hectic, and already we have another fight coming through. You see Wooper Fan Club going around the edge, and a wonderful shatter from the side of Telmcom takes down Jags. And suddenly it's looking like a 6v5. Never thought I'd say those words ever again. Mind Goblin is demexed by the other Diva as Telmcom goes down. Looks like a trade of tanks once again. Soon you're going to have more people returning pretty soon, but there is a recapture going through for the side Wooper Fan Club as the Transcendence comes through, and Sketch, without their Transcendence, is the first one to fall in this extended fight. Another support goes down for Flemborg and the Slumbos. A wonderful grab from Choi Soo-hwan. No one needed to see that, but it looks like this fight is going the way of the Woopers.
There was a brief period where the Valley over health and armor from Flemborg and the Slumbos was still active, and sooner or later, 2 valleys during that. They could have gone quickly, but it's just Jackson gets caught out, drops the shield for the Shadow. This time, it's going to be Talma who goes down to the Shadow. The grab from Resto might be enough to seal the fight.
You see a point blank grab right on the edge there to make sure that it isn't DM'd as a Trance and a Beat come through on the side of Flemborg, able to keep everyone alive off of just the beat from Wooper. You see a Diva Bomb come out as Mind Goblin falls down. Shatter does not hit anyone, but Sketch still falls to the Reinhardt. Suddenly the rest of Flemborg is dropping very low. Jags at half health. Sketch still down. Rare is now dropping down with everyone's attention focused on them as they finally fall down. The slow-mo really helping make sure everyone's organized as Ostina and Jags both fall. And suddenly it's just Cordal there. And there goes another fight at Fan Club.
That's we've overlaid our support ults. Long protracted fight where Flemborg and the Slumbers had already used Trance and Beat early on to kind of just one grab. Didn't even find much value off the back of it, and then their team were just left isolated and alone, trickling in one after the other. 80% now and counting up for Wooper Fan Club. They just need one decent fight here to be able to seal off the map, and with Goats, you can just count on all of your ult banks you've now built up.
You see a wonderful mind games coming through from Flemborg as they're able to make sure that they're able to get through that choke without much harm, as a Shatter is missed by Telmcom. Diva Bomb only team-packs the other Diva as Jags and Cordal both fall on the side of Flemborg. Suddenly the rest of the Slumbos will fall down. They have been slumboed, Willow. And suddenly it looks like after losing 59%, Wooper Fan Club are able to hold the rest of the way and take Mecha Base.
You can see how close Flemborg and the Slumbers were to all their ultimates as well. They're coming out of the end of the round, but it's too late, I'm sorry. That grab Shatter Beat would have been useful maybe on the tail end of that fight, but took it a little bit too quickly, got caught out by the sheer ult bank that Wooper Fan Club had been able to build up and maintain. As I was talking about when Flemborg and the Slumbers were kind of staggering themselves out on that kind of second to last fight, sure, you're slowly building up their ultimates, but you're feeding them at warp speed to Wooper Fan Club, who are just going to be able to hold them for the overtime or try and catch you out as you make your engagement in. They were so close, Flemborg and the Slumbos, to being able to come in with an actual full ult bank if they just take you a little slow. But I think the Goats mentality maybe got to them. Oh, just go in all the time. Like, you can do it a little bit. Slowing it down and figuring it out. As we go over towards Sanctuary now, we will be seeing more open-ended map. This is not typically where you'd see Brawl nowadays. Okay, let's go. Every single time. Crazy. So, let's see if they can address that.
Once again, Telm drops very low at the very beginning, but is able to just immediately get healed up here, as Jags is actually the one to fall. Maybe got a too far in there. Suddenly another slowdown. It's just the lobby is just trying so hard with 12 people. It isn't used to this kind of pressure. Asuna falls down to try. There goes some brig-on-brig combat. That's a wonderful job from that K-pop skin there, as Rare falls down. Both Divas are D-maxed. Mind Goblin falls down. Duke decides to go for the SD off the map so they can remech very quickly. But suddenly you see 3 members of Flemborg are already back up by the time that the fight actually ends.
It's surprising that Wooper Fan Club were able to turn that around, considering Jags got pinned into the backline. You're down your Reinhardt at the very start of the fight. That's usually just an automatic fight loss, but maybe not able to take proper advantage of the Discord coming through. Now rally from Tri, keeping Wooper Fan Club alive now as they're 20% in building on this point. Going to be a while before Asuna is able to match their own rally, so slow movement going to be coming through from Flemborg and the Slumbos, but the Wooper Fan Club, it's their fight to control.
Yeah, you see so many ults coming through here. You have, I believe that's 7 or 6 ults already. There goes the 7th there. Choi Soo-han with a massive graphitic flux as the beat from Portal is able to keep almost everyone up through it until the Diva Bomb is able to claim his life. Suddenly, Rare is falling low. They go down. Mind Goblin very low, but the pressure is put onto Jags. Choi Soo-han goes for a little ride in that rocket ship. There they go. And suddenly, Flemborg, once again, they are falling, not able to get a fight win so far on this point.
Right opens that fight up with a rally, and we're seeing the stagger.
Oh,
no. Mind Goblins, please, spare them. Oh, the bubble to try and get the repack, but no,
gosh,
immediately broken, and now, yeah, no ally bubble now for your Zarya, so you just have to back up. Wooper Fan Club fully willing to push this. They've got 70% of the objective and still ultimates to spare. They don't mind. That armor from the Brig rally, the second one that Tri built up in the previous fight, still expiring. And now it's going to be Flemborg and the Slumbos trying to go around, force Wooper Fan Club to play away from this high ground, but maybe it's a little bait.
You see Wooper Fan Club are close to so many ults, but it doesn't matter as Tom J. Kong just falls immediately. Oh my goodness, oh my days. They fall down as a Flux and Trance are canceling each other out. helping keep Flemborg up. Jags survives as a beat comes out from Born to be mid. Another Diva Bomb comes through, this time from the Flemborgs as Jags falls down. That's another Reinhardt as Telm is able to find a wicked shatter, able to take down a few as Born to be mid is able to claim 2 there. That's some supportal combat, grabbing 3 in that last fight. And this first point and first map, sorry, never mind. That's the second point, and that is going to Flemborg and the Slumbos.
We were talking about the way that teams are going to have to get used to adjusting to the way that the game plays. I'm sure both these teams will have already scrimmed on this GOATS code and gotten a little bit of experience, but it is no comparison to 2 years of consistent just playing this one meta over and over again. And you can see the both advantage and disadvantage of some of that practice in the way that Wooper Fan Club are able to acknowledge which fights that they want to invest ultimates into and how they want to invest them. Whereas from Flemborg and the Slumbos, there are a few wacky moments. A few times where we used Beaten Transcendence where maybe we didn't want to use both at the same time. A few shatters thrown in that really just resulted in Jags immediately exploding. We saw some good bashes through shield. Have you missed that? I haven't. Personally, I like it when Brig can't just stun you when you've got your shield up, but we saw Tum exploding nonetheless whenever that did come through. I think that Flemborg and the Slumbos, they were able to find these little bits of advantage here and there, but just not able to follow through on it, and I think it's a little bit early days. I'm still getting used to being able to process this sheer amount of information. But looking at the way that Wooper Fan Club were using their ultimates to try and counteract the plays that Flemborg and the Slumbos, that's going to be a really difficult name. They're trying to counteract their gameplay. I mean, that's kind of what GOATS can be about. You can just be reactive once you're in control of the objective and just rely on your huge ult bank. If you're building up 2 rallies a fight before Flemborg and the Slumbos are building up 1, yeah, just go for it. Why not? Throw that in every single time.
Yeah, you saw there, Wooper Fan Club able to take that map 2-0 on Busan. And I think another really interesting part here is that there are 2 roles that they're allowed to swap wherever they want. So the Diva, the Zarya, the Brig, and the Lucio all have to be there. But they're all deciding to run not only the Reinhardt GOATS, which is obviously the most well-known, but also they could swap out the Zenyatta for either a Moira or an Ana. But when you have these teams that have such good target focus with such good players, that Discord Orb does so much to make sure that everyone stays alive and they're able to get those quick kills. It is absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, Discord and Trance, like, overall as ultimates, just play so much better than, like, Nano Boost and... Like, if they go Moira, you go Ana, and you nade them, okay, sweet. You've naded their Moira, she has no fade, she dies. You win the fight. Okay, but now they're playing the Ana, so we'll just play Zen, put the Discord on the Ana immediately explodes. Okay, now we win the fight. So, whilst teams could roll out on the Winston, and they could roll out on the Ana, I would maybe expect someone who's crazy enough to try that on, like, Gibraltar, of all maps. But the majority of the time you are just going to see teams stick on the Reinhardt because the Reinhardt's just better, and if you're on Reinhardt, you're not going to want Ana, and you're not going to want Moira because they just get bullied by Zen. Like, it's just so much more effective to just have Discord, where if it's on, like, Yazaria, and she has no personal, she dies. She just explodes because everyone turns and looks at her. She has no bubbles. What are you going to do? Try and, like, defense matrix a hammer? It's not going to work. You're just finished. So I do think that whilst there is the room to comp swap if you really want to, that's kind of a desperation play or an ego play. I wouldn't expect teams to be doing that if they're like, I think, yeah, in the strategic mirror here, I believe Winston should work. Like, no, it's not going to happen.
That is absolutely correct. I was foolish to think that anyone would take the opportunity to go off of the Chad Ryan v Ryan mirror. I shouldn't have expected anything different there. Alternatively, you also see there that, especially on that first point, there's just so much healing, even coming from the likes of a Lucio, where it was 11% for the first cap, and one of the Lucios already had a beat, and it had been like 45 seconds.
I mean, people forget just how effective, like, Harmony Orb and Crossfade's Aura were back in GOATS. Like, they've been tuned down a lot now that there's so many more supports. Like, you've got Baptiste and things where it's just like instant mirror denied.
I'm sure you guys can see this chat here. You're kind of what we were talking about, where one person was asking for the Winston mirror, but no, they want to do this Ryan v Ryan on King's Row.
Most you going to Kings and doing the Winston mirror. Hello.
Yeah,
you
oh my goodness.
For GOATS.
I think something also really awesome here is you're seeing how quickly Zenyatta's are able to build up Transcendence as well. If you were to look at some of the Overwatch League, they could build up a Transcendence so absolutely quickly in less than like half a fight. It's absolutely ridiculous, but we see going in here, the same exact comps coming through. You see a few fire charges. They're DM'd. You don't see that very often nowadays. You see them buying at this point. Oh my goodness, Asuna is the first one to fall, and suddenly Whooper Fan Club is on their heels trying to get back out of here, make sure that no one else falls. They're able to do that, but you're looking here, they're doing a great job so far, being able to hold this without taking a casualty so far on the side of Flemborg. These chokes are just so absolutely ridiculous, but you're seeing that synergy there from the Zarya bubbles on Reinhardt's shield, being able to swap between the two, and the defense matrix, really able to make sure that everyone stays alive. You're seeing a lot of people at half health here. You're seeing once again, a member of Whooper Fan Club falls first. That's the Zarya as a transfer grab. He's bullied out, and Try actually falls on the side of, oh, the names are swapped, I apologize, so I'm missing a little bit there, but you're seeing some stuff coming through here. You're seeing a deep bomb come through for G8 Pants. Suddenly, everyone is still right at this choke. No one has been able to get through here. That is on the red side, actually, Flemborg, my apologies. So that is that team. They are able to push back Whooper Fan Club for just right now. But suddenly, a counterattack and ebb and flow coming through here. But you have a grab coming through for Flemborg and the Slumbos. That's rare. But Jags falls on the opposite side. Transcendence and Diva Bomb used on the side of Whooper. Hopefully able to make some sort of work here, but they're not able to. Once again, forced out. A grab forced out for two support ults and a Diva Bomb on the side of Flemborg. That's what you call worth. Everything is just being used so quickly here. No need to ult tracker, because you know that everyone's going to have everything. Huge shatter on the side of Telm. Oh my goodness. I said what I said. They're painting the town red. That is some wonderful job by Whooper Fan Club. And once again, this Diva is not allowed to have a fun time.
We highlighted the way that you cooldowns being used and ultimates just kind of getting thrown out, but what we're noticing most primarily for me is Rezdo, who is using the Zarya bubbles a lot more frivolously, I'd like to say, than Choice One, who is really conservative with the way the bubbles used, always to counter-aggress and always to push in afterwards. Rezdo is bubbling for energy, which is a big trap to fall into because it's what you usually want to do in Overwatch 2. Now, the solo beat, just to try and keep Pawn2B mid alive, caught alone in the grab, and the shatter comes through to follow it up. Now that you don't have that sound barrier to try and keep you alive, this should be Whooper Fan Club able to find some kills, but off the back of it, there's a grab the Choice One's able to throw in and try and punish. Again, this counter, always prepared to respond, and these bubbles still available now. 2 seconds till the ally bubble comes through. Try and save someone from that Diva Bomb, but Telm goes down nonetheless, and it will be the Zarya falling eventually. First point going the way over to the attackers now. 60 seconds was all that was left on the clock, but nonetheless, pushing the time bank down that low, maybe just a little bit too much over-aggression from Telm over on the Reinhardt to get caught out that close to spawn. We were talking about being a little bit more conservative from Flemborg and the Slumbers, or is it Whooper Fan Club? I'm a little lost at this point. Either way, that measure of conservatism removed.
The red team is Flemborg, so they are attacking right now. They were able to finally grab that point, and you're seeing what happened a lot in 6v6 is you would have one person on par while being able to have 5 people, including a Lucio and another big source of heals, able to push up. As soon as... Oh, never mind! It doesn't matter. I was going to say it helps make sure everyone stays alive and able to get out of the way, but it doesn't matter because Flemborg gets cut down by another massive shatter from Telm and the Whooper Fan Club. It's a wonderful job there, able to immediately stop the progress right after the archway. And suddenly, they're just spawn camping, trying to find one pick after another, not letting anyone live here. Jags falls down. It's a blood chase going on right here, mate. And suddenly...
I invested in the rally to make it happen as well. It's just like you now get to sit here with all of that armor that you've built up, because it's not overhealth now. It functions like Brig armor in Overwatch 1. So you just get to sit here, and Whooper Fan Club will have to use ultimate to try and break this spawn hole. Asuna coming up to rally of their own is going to try and break through this. I'd imagine it'll cap out at 99 because of the code, but if you can just build up to 6 ultimates and try that way, sure. But we can see Whooper Fan Club, they've got ultimates of their own now. It's only the rally they don't have right now.
see a shatter blocked by Reaper Fan Club. Jax falls down to the Diva Bomb with the pin. It's a trade there as the Diva mech gets demeched on the side of Flemborg. You're seeing both the beat and the Transcendence used to counteract the grab. It doesn't matter. They're able to force them back to the first point spawn, but it looks like they're getting too big for their britches there as Whooper Fan Club is finally losing their members, and Flemborg will finally be able to get some progress back on the board.
Overlapping trance and beat is like the worst thing you can do when you just get someone grabbed, especially if you've already lost someone. Like, using either one of those ultimates is kind of, you know, maybe a waste. Maybe you don't need to do that, but using both of them, it just gives the enemy team an immediate green light to walk on after like 3 seconds. They just wait, let their cooldowns come back, and then immediately turbo into your team because they know you have no response anymore. Unless you're going to try and invest rally into a lost fight, you may as well just give it up.
Yeah, you're seeing here some wonderful work being able to push in as they take out Asuna before the sound barrier is able to come through. Jags extremely low. Hopefully they're able to survive here. Trying to block that shield on the side of Telm, but not able to as Lethal falls down. A wonderful shatter coming through from Jags as a Diva Bomb comes through. Remac on the side of Duke as a grab on grab action, but it does not matter as Flemborg is able to slumbo all over the Whoopers here. Duke Pants is able to stagger just a little bit, make a little bit of time wasted, but it doesn't matter. 20 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like Flemborg will still be able to cap here. Just maybe Whooper Fan Club might try to go for a one little touch here, but it does not look like it.
No, I mean, they could absolutely try if they wanted to, but you may as well just hold this corner and maintain your positional advantage. You don't really have ultimates to work with either, though the shatter going into the shield will surely help.
Hold the corner. Please, this is GOATS. What are you talking about? As Shatter and Shatter don't have much effect here. Asuna gets stunned up. Jax is half, but Telm is the one to fall. Try is very low. They're also falling on the side of Whooper here. Suddenly, Flemborg have been able to win. Fight. It's your fight. It's your fight. Cleaning up everyone and really able to push this advantage. Not even losing a single member in a 6v6. They're really turning up the heat here in map 2.
This is where you need to be a little bit careful about the usual GOATS trap. It is just like going in and constant aggression all the time, but also not just throwing in ultimates and dying. You have to be careful to make sure that you are playing your advantage and your slow game a little bit better. If you just swing, you will get blown up by a disc.
You're seeing a Diva Bomb come through onto the backside, but it does not catch anyone on the Flemborg and the Slumbos as a grab for Trance is forced through. Suddenly it looks like they're being retreated. Flemborg is actually getting pushed back without losing a single member here, trying to get some of these cooldowns back up. Shield on the side of Whooper, falling very low. You have another grab from Choi Soo-hwan, hopefully able to get some work done here. They're going to need a miracle as their Reinhardt falls down. A beat and a Diva Bomb coming through from the side of the Slumbos. And suddenly it's getting into overtime here as Asuna falls down. But on the opposite side, you have the Diva D-Mech. Pete hopefully able to keep them alive that long enough to be able to get back up into their mech. They're able to. Shatter comes through from Telman. That's able to stop this push. And Whooper Fan Club is able to hold on the third point against Flemborg and the Slumbos.
I mean, I did like the way that Asuna, with the rally up, kind of backed off for a little while around that corner, just waited for that armor health to build up before re-engaging. They had the beat to counteract the grab as well, so realistically, Flemborg and the Slumbos, that was their fight to lose, but lose it they did. The focus fire from Whooper Fan Club was just a little bit too much. Like I said, you've got to temper aggression. Discord is very powerful when you've got like a max charge Zarya, a Diva, a Reinhardt, and a Zen just all looking at the same target. You have to be mindful of all of the damage that's going to be coming in all the time, and even when you think you've got a momentary advantage, you have to be very mindful of the ebb and flow of, we don't need to push, we just need to be aggressive, if that makes sense. The space can remain utterly stale, right? You can be locked in a stalemate, and that's fine, as long as you're forcing the enemy to use cooldowns at the same time as you have cooldowns forced out of your own team. If you're not getting that kind of trade-in where, okay, we're investing ultimates to counteract theirs, but they're not having to invest any ultimates of their own. We saw Born to be Mid able to just hold the sound barrier all the way to the end there. If you're not forcing out that beat, then you're just going to lose, because unfortunately, you've already used your sound barrier to counteract the grab, you already used your rally at the start of the fight, now they're going to be able to come up to their own ultimates on the defense, and even if you get the cart rolling again, they're going to get another touch, so you can't afford to overinvest. It's just very difficult to be mindful of everything that's going on at the same time, especially now that I think the code has settled down a little bit and you're not getting those hopeful little slowdowns. Teams just keeping on top of everything that's going on is going to be a challenge.
Yep, Flemborg and the Slumbos actually giving up that first little choke. They want to hold Statue instead. I completely agree. That seems like certainly something that you can do as Mind Goblin falls down, Asuna as well, but it's the Reinhardt on the side of Whooper Fan Club that falls down first. And suddenly this is exactly what you want, but that's not. Asuna falls down, but you have the D.Va demeched on the side of Whooper Fan Club. Mind Goblin is also demeched due to a whip shot coming through from Try, but it's a shatter coming through from Jags. Nice and early, able to do nothing as Choi Soo-han still grabs 2 there as a gravitic, or not a gravitic flex, I apologize, Graviton Surge from Rare. Not able to find any eliminations there. And 3rd time's the charm. Hopefully this time, Mind Goblin will be able to survive with their mech, and they are able to. Hopefully they can get healed up just a little bit there. Jags trying to make sure that they can body block for their team. They will be their shields. But suddenly this is looking like a free point for Whooper Fan Club here. We have 3 on point. Jags maybe trying to get close to it, but not able to touch in time. Suddenly it's a battle in the archway, and this isn't what you want for Flemborg. You wanted to be able to hold that just a little bit longer to give yourself a little bit of a reprieve here, but this is your next best option is trying to hold this archway.
Yeah, I mean, archway is the key here. If you lose that so quickly and then also lose archway, it's a disaster to find yourself in. Beat coming out from Born to be Mid to try and enable the aggression, and the Shatter coming out too, but I don't think that's going to be the follow-through you need. Count me out. Try is actually countered dead, and then Born to be Mid falls too. You hold your ultimates if you want, but you did have to invest the rally, the beat, and the Earth Shatter just to fall over there. Flemborg and the Slumbos did a nice little job. Just rallied, just beat. They've still kept their Brig alive, so they're going to have that armor health still building up, and they've held Transcendence as well to deal with Choice of One's grab. And now it's the opposite spawn hold coming through. Immediately tried to be countered, immediately grabbed.
Yeah, you're seeing a bit of deja vu. I've been in this place before. Mind Goblin is able to get 2 with the D.Va Bomb on this spawn hold as several other members of Whooper Fan Club are dead, and suddenly a little bit of stagger coming through on the opposite side here as Lethal falls down last, a few seconds behind.
In the attacking team, no ultimates. Nothing available to them. Try's going to be able to try and build up to rally, sure, but you've got to go into an Earth Shatter. There's going to be a counter rally on the opposing team. So if Jags plays this right, you just shatter 1. Right, you just play around the high ground, try and get this little cheeky reverse flip. I mean, now they've got the archway, but you can't push the cart through it without uprooting Flembo and the Slumborgs. The other way around, but whatever. And now you rally coming out from Try and the Shatter at the same time to try and counter it, immediately dodged.
Yep, the Shatter does not find anyone, but it doesn't matter as Helm climbs first. Blood there goes down. Portal, nice beat to make sure that everyone stays alive as Try falls down next. Duke demeched. They fall down to Rare. Asuna takes down Choi Soo-hwan. Another clean fight. 6-0 for the side of Flemborg and the Slumbos. They're able to hold this spawn hold just a bit longer, and they're coming up to another Shatter Willow.
Another like Shatter, but they had to use Beat and Rally. On the other opposing team, they're going to have Beat, they're going to have Transcendence, they're going to have all their ult bank, they're going to be able to turn this spawn hold on its head, surely, if they use their ultimates correctly. It shouldn't be something that Flemborg and the Slumbos can immediately respond to. But if you just keep feeding the Zarya charge, it's going to be even more difficult.
Lethal falls down to a few picks from Mind Goblin as they throw out a D.Va Bomb grab there. There's a Transcendence to keep everyone alive as well. Sound barrier on the side of Whooper Fan Club. A Shatter coming through from someone. That looks like it was from Flemborg. But suddenly the cart's getting pushed. A pick comes through. It's a few dead on each side. It looks like Flemborg is able to clean this up, but there's still cart progress coming through from Whooper Fan Club. But it looks like everyone else is falling. It looks like it's just Duke and Born to be Mid out of spawn right now. They're trying to find a few more, keep this fight going as long as possible with the spawn advantage. Discord onto the Zarya. Getting a little bit of poke through here. Suddenly Choi Soo-hwan is probably back up to full charge again. They're winning the fight.
Yeah, I mean they have to keep the fight going there. They invest 5 ultimates just to keep being spawn held. That's disastrous. Yeah, I mean I was gonna say you have to stack the D.Va. You have to take every little bit of advantage you can get. Getting caught through Archway is a massive boon. But Flemborg and the Slimbos, they've still got their own ultimate bank. Again, they've got so much that they can bring to the table that the Wooper fan club just don't have anymore. One Transcendence has to be enough to help them seal out Streets phase with only 1 minute 20 on the clock. They'll build up to more, but if they just get spawn held again, what are you gonna do?
You see a rally come through here from Asuna as a D.Va Bomb going through onto the back line, hopefully able to find someone. Shatter is able to find Choi Soo-hwan, but they only drop down a half. Telm drops dangerously low, but a few repair packs, that doesn't mean anything here. They go in, hopefully trying to find something. They're close to a Shatter. Pin coming through here. Nice to be able to cancel that one as a Flux comes through from Rare for a Transcendence from Lethal. Trio is falling on the other side of that, somewhere in the middle there. Shatter is canceled out by the Transcendence on the side. A sketch from Flemborg and the Slumbos. They're still able to hopefully win this fight here. Telm drops dangerously low, 18-12. They go down suddenly with your Reinhardt gone. It looks like the rest of your team is crumpling without him. Looks like some nice job on the side of Flemborg there. Woo boy!
You're hoping for better ultimate value conversion. Again, it's the same situation. Wooper fan club use a significant amount of their ult bank later on in the fight where it doesn't look as easily winnable. 10 seconds and less now, and you've lost Telm at the start. That's surely the map basically concluded, even if Jags whiffs on the Shattered there. You're just not going to be able to break through Archway.
Oh, it looks like there's one person on the backside, but it doesn't matter for Flemborg. They want to keep everyone else busy. And then they'll turn around, clean up the rest of the fight. The Lucio falls. It's just the baby D.Va there. How do you like that stagger? Flemborg and the Slumbos are able to take map 2, King's Row, and we're going to our map 3 coming up.
That just said Wooper fan club. Honestly, I'm so turned upside down at this point, I don't know which team is doing what, because I feel like I'm referring to everything incorrectly no matter which order I go for. Regardless, it feels like we're seeing our team in blue, I'll say, maybe respond a little bit better in terms of these ult trades overall. Even though first point was lost with 5 minutes on the time bank, being able to burn 4 of those down by just consistently maintaining such a stranglehold on that defense is a really impressive thing to be able to pull off. I mean, realistically speaking, you don't expect someone to lose King's Row after one fight and then just get caught forever. But when you're not getting any value out of your ultimates, you're not able to convert them into actual eliminations, you're just kind of throwing them into lost fight. Like I said, that's the danger. Sure, you're building an ultimate every fight, but if you're building it up and then throwing it away every fight, you're just giving an opening for the enemy team to use theirs even slightly better. I mean, Jags threw an Earth Shatter that hit literally no one at the end there and still won because Telm got caught out. Just went in a little bit too aggressive, immediately got pinned, exploded by Discord, and that's it. Fight's over, map's over. That's the kind of thing you want to see when a Reinhardt dies first. Referencing back to Busan, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm also confused which team is which. I thought I knew what it was, but I thought that Choi Soo-hwan's team was Wooper Fan Club. I apologize for that. Turns out they are the Flemborgs and the Slumbos. I guess I was the real Slumbo in this opportunity here, Willow.
They Flemborged all over you. I'm so sorry.
They did Flemborg all over me, and I'm still as confused and rattled as ever. 12v12 is just so hectic.
12v12? Now that would be monstrous. That would be terrible. I wouldn't cast that. I just did.
If it was 12v12, I think our producers would quit in that opportunity.
I should try to observe that. Oh god. Who would you even look at? 24 choices for POV cam? You have no idea what's going to happen at any moment.
Yeah, but this is going great so far. We're going to assault for our map 3, it looks like. It's some wonderful, wonderful tomfoolery and bamboozling here going on. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. How are you, Willow?
I mean, it's genuinely just really fun to watch because fights are so different, right? You can just watch the Reinhardt kind of like turbo int and then still turn it around with like a good counter pin. I really like the way that Telm and Duke were trying to set up like the pin bomb, right? You grab someone, the Reinhardt pins it onto the enemy Rein, you get the D.Va bomb in, Boom, everyone dies. Not able to execute it perfectly every single time, but hey, you know, it's been a little while. What can we say? I just find it really fun to see the way that you try and get into the mind game, you try and psych each other out. It's just not something that really happens in Overwatch 2 now. It's very much a kind of deathmatchier game overall. Even though you can see the Reinhardt's doing crazy things, it feels like there's an underlying strategy behind it that maybe they're trying to make up for without, you know, the same mechanical presentation that you'd see on heroes like a Sojourn. Either way, going over to Anubis as our map.
We are on Temple of Anubis. This is not something I thought I would ever have the opportunity for casting. I know players in this tournament that haven't even played Overwatch 1, and this is just a throwback even for me. This is absolutely just a mind-shattering for me right now. It feels like I just got earth-shattered with the way my mind is being blown right now.
I mean,
but
I
we
know
are
people
on
liked
this.
Anubis.
I loved
My hot-
Anubis. I thought
my
it
hot
was
take.
absolutely the best assault map in the world, and it's because my team did a cheesy Symmetra TP to go underneath there, and we would often be able to do super well attack and defense there. But that does not matter because there is no Symmetra, because this is a Chad v Chad going on here with the goats.
Brief opportunity to Winston if you want, but you'd been insane to try it. Again, we just see the Reinhardt, and immediately it's going to be Flemborg and the Slumbos giving up the high ground. I'm just going to go with the one that's on the screen, and if it's wrong, sue me. Whatever.
I think this
give
is
it the high
correct
ground.
now.
It's immediately taken again, but go ahead.
They do give a little bit there as our repair pack just heals so much. I absolutely forgotten about this, and suddenly Rupert Fan Club are just forced back into this tiny little mini room with that mini health pack. They're trying to go onto the other high ground now. You've seen that people have just forgotten how to actually traverse this actual map, as Cordell and Austin are the first to fall on the side of Rupert Fan Club. Jags and Sketch go down as well, as Mind Goblin once again stagger there. They just want to have a fun, goofy time here. But they are not ready for the sweats going through right now on the side of Flemborg and the Slumbos, as they get a nice 6-0 clean fight here for that first fight of Anubis.
And already, Sound Barrier, Rally, ready to go. You're going to have Transcendence midway through the fight. Whooper Fan Club, they don't even really have anything to force them out. If you land a good shatter, maybe you can get a beat in response, but it's not a consistent thing, and we've seen Tom block most of these shatters in the first place.
Yep, you see Austin, first one to fall there, not able to get behind Jags as they fall next. Both to Choi Soo Hwan on this Zarya, known for it. Full charge there as they find another. Sketch goes down. Mind Goblin once again left alone here. They really wish they just backed out earlier. This poor little Diva not able to get any sort of DMAC there. Oh no, please don't tell me it happens again. No,
Yeah,
it does not.
okay, a little bit of
that.
message. They see Whooper Fan Club coming back and like, okay, we don't want to risk it. They might just like pack immediately. Mind Goblins at 1,000 health again because the pack lasts so long. No, we'll just play it safe. But you do have to point out, it's been happening every single fight. Your Diva can't be the last one to die. And maybe you're thinking like, Mind Goblins maybe just like int a little bit more, right? Just going a little bit more aggressive so that you're not the one who's caught out last every single time. It can't be the consistent attack.
Yeah, you see an early sound there coming through from Rupert Fan Club. Shadow comes through from Telm as 3, 4, 5 more ults coming through here. Someone has to fall, and it looks like that's going to be Asuna as Duke Pants falls on the side of Flemborg. They get demeched, but Jags falls down again. This Diva... Oh, this might be Goats, but it looks like Flemborg has a Mercy after all for some Mercy there for Mind Goblin. No stagger there, but... Once again,
Asuna has
my
rally.
goodness.
Asuna died soon enough that they didn't build up to their rally in that fight. A minute left, they have rally to just hard engage here, run it down main. Flemborg and the Slumbos would have to drop onto a rally to make that work, but Tri has a rally of their own now built up from the health pack healing that they're going to be able to respond with, and the armor health is already in effect. Asuna only just pulls it. No, it immediately dies.
Oh no. Yep, 2 more fall on the side of Whooper Fan Club. Mind Goblin gets taken, demeched again. Sketch, Rare fall down too. Suddenly it's just a Lucio somewhere, unless they fell much earlier, but it looks like they're actually trying to get out.
30 seconds. I
A
mean, it's something
wonderful
that we've
hold.
seen. It's a wonderful hold, but from Whooper Fanglob, it's this same not being used to the hero. You have to rally early as Brig to let the armor health build up. We're seeing that from Flemborg and the Slumbos. We're not seeing it from Whooper Fanglob, and every Rallard fight, it's going to be Try who comes out on top.
Another big thing here is that without high percentage charge on your Zarya that's falling every single map, they just don't have able to get through here. But we find our first Diva DM able to take out a Zarya grab the first time on this tournament. But Duke Pants able to find two with the Diva Bomb. Just a few left here as they clean up the fight and get a perfect full hold on Temple of Anubis.
Only 10 seconds left on the clock to try and make your aggressive push is going to be difficult on its own, but when you're doing it without any kind of beat or rally or anything that you can try and utilize, it's just very difficult indeed. If you'd had the rally at that point, it would have been maybe doable. We've seen the rally perhaps not perfectly utilized, but at least it would be something when Tri didn't have one of their own quite built up yet. Grav being eaten, Choice One's Grav getting taken out of the fight early is fantastic, but it means that your Diva is having to mark their Zarya, and that means your Diva isn't covering the people who go onto the objective. There was a counter Grav as well to try and force out resources, but it was a Grav on the high ground, which is just the advantageous position. You have to walk away from the high ground as the attacking team to try and get onto the objective, so you're put in this awkward position. Do we kill the people who are caught in the Grav, or do we keep the map going and not just immediately lose? Obviously, you have to choose to keep the map going, but it means your Grav just goes by the wayside. You're stalling out time. You don't want to just be stalling, because that's all Goats is really, good at, no matter what you do. You want to be trying to find a way to end the stall and kind of putting yourself in a position where you have to continue it is just going to put you at a disadvantage. It's these ultimates that are coming through. They have to be utilized in a way that makes sense in the moment and displays an understanding of how the ultimates want to play in this composition with all the changes that have been undone over the last few years, because these heroes, they just play very differently, and it's going to be a challenge for teams to get used to this, even if they've been practicing, even if they've been scrimming. You're trying to undo all of the muscle memory that you built up during Overwatch 2. Keep an eye on this ult charge, because Sketch is already 10% of the way to a Transcendence on the defensive side here. If Whooper Fanglob want to be able to close out this map,
from
they have
Flemborg.
to
It looks like they're just going to try to rush point here. They're trying to end this nice and quick. Suddenly, Whooper Fan Club, they're out of position. They need to scramble to touch this point as half to cap for the side of Flemborg here. Looks like no one has fallen quite yet. You see Telm caught in this mini room, but they're able to survive. Shield goes low. They drop low, down to 90 HP, but it's Rare that falls first. That's on the side of the defenders here, where you have a beat coming through immediately from Flemborg's. Born to be mid, and it looks like Asuna falls next. It's a 6v4 here, looking to find their next target. Choi Soo Hwan is full charge right now, taking the Diva down to a D-Mech. Discord is holding through there, but I will technically call that a C9 because that's the kind of tournament this is, where if anyone is not touching point, it's obviously a C9.
Oh, of course.
I appreciate the victory screen letting us at least see the second point here, how I missed that so much. But that was a beautiful plan there from the side of Flemborg and the Slumbos.
I liked the way that they immediately went on the aggression, knowing that they had plenty of time to work with, and hey, you might as well, right? If it doesn't seem like the fight is winnable, you just take the massive amount of ult charge that you've built up, go again next time. Just build up to 6, you only have to get 1 tick. It was notable that Whooper Fan Club had Transcendence there to try and save Asuna and just keep the Brig alive to try and build up to a rally of their own. I believe Tri got a rally off already, so you had the chance to try and match it if you kept your Brig alive, but held it for a little bit too long. Again, you do want to be conservative with your cooldowns and your ultimates, but if your Brig is dead in Goats, it's basically fight over. You were already down 2 at that point. And even if it was technically people alive, it's barely a C9, because the only one who could touch was a 12 health Lucio. There's just nothing you can do in that situation except stall it for
you need to give your life for the cause.
I know.
You need to give your life for the cause, Willow. If you don't die on that point,
it's right.
It's not enough. But that is a wonderful GG's there as Flemborg and the Slumbos take that 2-1 over Whooper Fan Club, as we are going to be going to a short break as we get ready for our next match of this tournament. We hope to see you soon.
Till tomorrow when we're alright. That's when we forget just who we are. Make us come together and it's alright. That's when you remember who you are. Over there tomorrow when we're alright. That's when we forget just who we are. Make us come together and it's alright. That's when you remember who you are. Remember who you are. That's when you remember who you are. Overthink tomorrow when we're alright. That's when we forget just who we are. Make us come together and it's alright. That's when you remember who you are. Remember who you are.
Hello and welcome back to our second match, our second round of this Tranquility off-season GOATS tournament. I'm once again joined by Willow. How are you doing on this fun
You're kind of lying down a little bit. Casting goats and watching it all again is high octane all the time. It's kind of important to remember that sometimes those fights are just aggressive. They're really good. So it's good to just kind of take a breath, chill out, take these between matches to try and recontextualize a little bit, figure out what's going on. We're going to be seeing Monkey Business and Kappas. We were seeing, I believe it was the first seed and the second seed in Group A last time, so the highest level that we can expect from the GOATS tournament going into it. This time we're coming down the seeding a little bit too, as we're going to be monkeying around like this.
Yeah, you certainly deserve a round of applause so far. But it looks like Monkey Business are going to want a round of applause going forwards here. Haha, I got an entire Wikipedia ready for you on my second. I expect Monkey Business to do very well here. They have a lot of recognizable players, a lot of staples in this Tranquility season. You see the likes of Dorito, Mani, Aristotle, all people that have played in either Ascendant or Transcendence tier this past season. But also some other people like Stucio, Kiki Land, Blizzy Nugs, who personally I don't think I've seen before, but I'm excited to see what they do.
We're hovering over the Winston right now, but we're not seeing an honor, which makes me believe with full certainty that it was simply a bait. Just doing a little bit of monkey business, one could say, as the name suggests. Going back over to the Reinhardt now, as is to be expected. I mean, we talked about compositions a little bit last match. We're not going to be expecting any changes. Maybe there'll be someone who does something crazy, but I don't expect it.
Yeah, you see Deuce coming out here first is getting real aggressive right off the bat, able to get some charge for Nocti as Stucio drops low on the side of Monkey Business. But a little bit of heals able to keep them up immediately, and Nocti is actually the first one to fall. That goes one member out the side of Kappas, so the rest of Monkey Business are cooking. They got their aprons on right now, as Stucio able to find two here with his abilities. You don't see that often from a Reinhardt. Blizzy Nugs able to find another, and cleaning up the fight with that 2K. Monkey Business get the first touch.
It's going to be focus fire is the really key thing to be looking at here, especially as there's just a slight SR disparity between the teams. It's going to be really important for both of them to recognize who is vulnerable at any given moment, turn on them, and just immediately explode them with their weapons or their hammers.
Oh, you see a massive shadow coming through from Stucio, able to find 5 there. Suddenly, everyone is falling on the side of Kappas again. Well, pour yourself a round of champagne on that one. That monkey knows what he's doing.
Brief moment where it looked like maybe Lucio was going to get caught up, but Dorito able to help Mani on the Brigitte get back to safety. Ultimate's now coming in from Monkey Business, only used a shadow there, so Grab immediately going to be coming out.
Yep, you see Transcendence and G coming through here on the opposite sides here. No one falling down quite yet, as in sort of ebb and flow here. Mani's on the opposite side here. What are they doing over there? They get shut down. That's not what you wanted to be doing, homie. As the rest of the team is falling back now, but without that brig, it's going to be so hard to keep everyone up. That's why Aristotle is pulling out this Transcendence hopefully able to keep people alive for just a little bit longer, get some ults on the board, but a few more ults coming from the side of Kappa's. They're hopefully able to clean up this fight quickly. It's at 65%, 70 coming up so far on the side of Monkey Business. Oh boy there, it's a long fight. No one's dropping, or people are dropping, but no one's really winning the fight. It's just taking forever. A wonderful
well, the real
stagger.
winner is Monkey Business, who have been able to just hold on to the objective this whole time, even if we now get into a point where they do end up losing this fight eventually, and it looks like they're going to be able to turn it around with Dorito finding 3 on the tail end. They've managed to push it up to about 80% now, without really having to worry about much at all. Kappa's used all of their ult bank to try and make that fight end early, and now they're getting staggered out 99%. They had to try and touch, but they're not going to have time to be able to do much more than get sent immediately back to the spawn room. No ultimates for them to make use of, and the Reinhardt exploding, the closest one to that Earth Shatter. Just going to be cleaning up the fight. The sound barrier from Dorito coming through just to make sure that this map is sealed off. But yeah, I mean, you take a really long, protracted fight there. I was talking about you have to focus on. When you get the Brig that early, when money is just caught out in your backline straight away, you have to be so much more ready to push the aggression and find more of those follow-up kills. Because as we talked about, goats can just live. And goats just lived. Monkey Business, proving themselves to be the goats on that particular map, just did not die, kept the fight going for as long as they needed to. Like I said, even if they had fallen over, getting it beyond that 85% threshold and being able to retain ultimates would have meant they had an easy fight to follow it up with. But Kappa's, maybe we're seeing a little bit of the disparity come through, not so much the focus fire, not so much the readiness. As we go over to Control Center, which is going to be, you know, I mean, it's brawl heaven realistically, there's going to be even fewer wacky positions for Manny to find themselves isolated in, so it's entirely possible we see an even more decisive victory this time around.
Yeah, if you're looking for a brawl map that's a pure brawl, this is as close as you can get here on Control Center. Stoplight drops down to half almost immediately there, and they're just junk position. Gun bash coming through from Yoonji. You don't like that, but Jules falls down on the other side, but in return, Blizzy Nugs falls down. There goes your Zarya. The rest of your team is panicking. Monkey Business, they're not monkeying around anymore, or they looks like they are at least, as they're all dropping. Kappa's able to grab this first point and able to win a fight relatively convincingly despite losing a member so early on.
The worst thing you can do in goats is split and try and take angles, because you don't really get much value in trying to do so. It's just going to live anyway, but you isolate yourself away from your team. Even if you live, someone else is going to die in the trade.
Get grab coming through on the side of Acti there. Transcendence from Aristotle keeps everyone up, but it doesn't matter. Huge shatter coming through from Deuce. Able to find more than 2 on that one there. And again, wonderful ult usage so far on the side of Kappa's. They only had to use a few ults there. They already have 4 back up in the bank here, despite having won 2 fights so far.
It's a 3. That's a little glitch with the Diva 1. I believe that they don't actually have that available to them quite yet. Beat and Shadow as they try and come in, and immediately Dorito gets caught out but isn't going to die yet. Beat from Beat O doesn't really do much more than sustain for a little while as these teams just play around this choke. Maybe a little over-aggressive there on the Lucio, but trade back onto the Zarya. The attacking team have to chill out. Monkey Business can't afford to take this fight too aggressive, but maybe they'll find the kills anyway.
Yep, finally Monkey Business is able to get on the board here in Control Center. They're staggering the Zarya relatively healthily. That's going to be a solid 7-second stagger or so that you really don't want when it comes to these comps that take forever to die already. And 7 seconds is an eternity. Blizzy Nugs here able to find anything. Vito, what are you doing, man? Grab against the wall from Blizzy Nugs, and they're behind the shield, able to take down Deuce. Monty gets the kill credit there as Dorito, another support, able to find the kill credit. You saw Kiki Land having some fun all the way on top of the spaceship there. Getting a little cute there, but you know what's not cute? Dorito falling to a Diva Bomb. Transcendence coming through on the side of Monkey Business, keeps everyone up. But another shatter there finds 4 on the side of Monkey Business. Kappa's tank is doing wonderfully here, as that's 4 for 0 on the back end of this fight.
We can see Stussio preparing with the shield to try and get the block in just a little bit too late on it. Just gives Juice the perfect opening to slam down and find the entirety of your team. You can shield afterwards, but as we've talked about, mitigation is only useful if everyone's not already on the floor. Monkey Business lose their defensive advantage. That was their key to win, and now they have to push into Kappas, who have already proven they can hold this map forever if they need, because there's 85% on the point.
If you see there, it looks like Monkey Business were getting split off 90% so far from Kappas, but everyone's finally able to get through on the side of Monkey Business. You see charge on charge there. Heat coming through from Kappas. Monkey Business is able to follow up on the same side. Shatter on two of the supports. Monkey Business, Stussio, nice job there, but not unable to find any sort of team credit. And it's Mom that's the first one to fall. Suddenly, once again, several members of Monkey Business falling down here. It looks like they're able to get the point, but it doesn't quite matter as Kappas are still finding so many picks here. They're cleaning up the fight. They're going to be able to get the fight once again, and it looks like they're going to be able to get this point. The fight has taken forever. They're doing a wonderful job of being able to touch for overtime, but it does not matter. Kappas able to take point 2 on Lijiang Tower.
Here's the difference of the Brigitte. Even though Monkey Business felt like they were getting all of the picks and the trades were coming through in their favor, as soon as you lose Mani, who is 99% for rally, I'm not sure if that was an earnest 99% or just the code capping it out before it reached 100%. Either way, you've lost your big rally potential, you've lost your Brig, and in a fight like that, maybe the Brig comes back in time. You're hoping that she does, but when Kappas have one of their own and they can just rally themselves, even if they seem to be at the disadvantage at the moment, Brig is the whole reason why GOATS exists, and there's a reason for it. If you don't manage to clean her up, you're in difficulty. If you lose yours when the enemy haven't lost theirs, it's basically a fight loss. You have to be so much more willing, and I said it before, but I'll say it again, to go on the focus fire and just immediately explode the key targets, because if you kill some, but not the good ones, it's not going to work anymore.
You see the Stussio immediately falls. Oh my goodness, what happened there? As Deuce goes for a wild ride into Narnia, able to find the pin on Dorito. Rest of the team able to clean up everyone as everyone was trying to save that poor Lucio. But it looks like they're able to get a remake on the side of Kiki Land there.
If I was Aristotle, I'd feel very cheap in that moment as Orion pins through my entire team and then still somehow finds the kill onto me. Either way, Monkey Business able to now try and posture up a little bit, but no ultimates online as of yet.
Yep, you see another Ryan v Ryan pin here. This time it's Kappa's main tank that's the first one to fall there. Only 12% on the board, and it looks like Monkey Business are going to be able to win this fight. But right when I say that, Aristotle drops down. Dorito goes 2. You're missing 2 of your supports. That's when you need to keep everyone alive. You only have so many brick packs, but that rally will help you out. It looks like Stussio on the front lines here as a grab is eaten on the side of Kiki Land, but you have a shatter coming through for Deuce. Those two tank ults are able to clean up the fight. You don't lose the point at all either. And it was a wonderful turnaround. Kappa's able to really pick up the heat here. Really turning it up on this third point right when it matters.
It feels like compared to Night God, and we're seeing Dorito and Aristotle getting punished and caught out for splitting a little bit. We pointed out on Control Center that it's bad to do that, but now we're seeing the Zen and the Lucio just away from the team, dying at the start of the fight each time, even when Monkey Business have the advantage.
You see, oh my goodness, Dorito, oh no, that Brazilian is just dying every single fight right off the bat. Top block gets the credit as Deuce finds the pickup on 2. There goes both of those melee targets. Suddenly they're going for the throat on this one, able to clean up another one. Aristotle goes down to that Zarya, forces everyone else back to spawn, and it's 75% and climbing on the side of Kappas.
You could have held that really close if you wanted. Force Monkey Business to use ultimates just to try and get out of their own spawn room. You're 85% to 0 right now. Even one ultimate that you get out of them just gives you a firm win condition to build up 6 of your own and immediately win the retake.
Oh, nice. Diva Bomb coming on the side of Kiki Land there, able to find Yunji. Beto falls down again, so you use 2 supportals on the side of Kappas. You're just trying to sort of stagger on this point, but you've already reached 99%. As you see, Stoplight is just leaving. Everyone else is just dying as quick as they can so they don't get staggered here. 99 to 0, but Monkey Business are finally able to get on the board.
You've got your grab and you've got your shatter. You were hoping you don't use trance and beat there. That was a fine fight to lose. You didn't need to win it. And Monkey Business, they're not going to have bomb, they're not going to have grab, they're not going to have beat. Sure, they'll be able to shatter you, they'll build up to a rally of their own, but if Kappas just play this one slow, take a dry fight, and just let Monkey Business use ultimates early, they'll be able to turn this around and just win the one fight they need.
Nice shatter on the side of Stussy, able to find Deuce with their pants down. Suddenly they're able to pick up 2. Monty falls on the other side to Stoplight's Diva, but it doesn't quite matter as the rest of Monkey Business are able to really clean up this rest of the fight. And suddenly it looks like Kappas are the ones that are looking like a baboon right now. A wonderful job from Monkey Business. 45% on the board, and they're doing wonderful so far to keep themselves in this point.
The Snowball and the ult economy are looking scary when you're investing Grav into a fight like that. Monkey Business, they are the ones who actually came out on top in terms of the ult trade, which is disastrous for Kappas, who genuinely didn't need to win that fight just like the last one. You have to be more disciplined in this if you want to try and turn this.
You see a wonderful side shatter coming through there, but it doesn't quite matter. So the Transcendence and the Diva Bomb used there. They're able to get a pin onto someone. There goes Dorito again. He just can't keep getting away with it. Stussy falls on the map, getting Yunji off of the board. Dorito not liking that all chat. Oh boy. Sad stuff for you, my friend, but it looks like Monkey Business are now at 85%. You have a Diva Bomb coming up over the edge, not able to find anyone, but Kiki Land is in the middle of nowhere there. They go off the map immediately to a boop. Sound barrier on the side. Vito gets it through. Keeps everyone up for the beginning of this fight, but another one comes through from Monkey Business, but it doesn't help for Monty as they go down. Stussy, despite having the sound barrier, they fall. Whip shot, Unji able to find it. Dorito finally gets their revenge, able to take down Deuce with a boop. Bet you miss having that knockback reduction, don't you there, pal? Looks like there's a little bit of stagger coming through here on Monkey Business, trying to keep themselves in this map. Deuce is swapping over to the Winston. Thought you'd never see that in your life, but it doesn't matter because you won't. They're not on the screen. And Kappas are able to take map 1 against Monkey Business.
That was when I saw the Diva Bomb just kind of thrown over onto the objective. It wasn't going to get anyone. It was maybe going to distract them for like a second. Surely no one should die to this. And yet, Kiki gets caught out and then just picked off, and you use a Diva Bomb just to find a Diva who's out of position. Splitting is so dangerous, you just can't afford to do it. And yet you find the enemy Diva just off the back of an errant ultimate that could have easily been avoided if you just played your cover properly. Off the back of that, you're able to just snowball in. You didn't have a good ult economy, but at least you were able to build up to rally halfway through. Monkey Business, on the other hand, they just die. They simply get exploded now that they don't have the Diva to mitigate all of that damage coming in from the from the Zen Discord and the orbs, all of that volleys of orbs of destruction. No longer going to be able to make any kind of impact at all. And Monkey Business, again, it's a game of ultimates, right? You have to be able to respond to them decently. You don't want to go too firm into them. I really liked the way that Dorito was holding onto sound barrier for as long as possible to get max value from it, and the nice little boop onto the Rhine at the end to seal it off. But when you're playing a 5v6 and the enemy team is able to rally, again, it's just a one fight for Kappas. They made it look like they were going to lose it for a second there, but when your Diva just dies, yeah, that's going to be map going their way.
Yeah, Kappa's doing a wonderful job so far. They are the lower seeded team here. They have a lot of players that are lower ranked, but you can just see it doesn't quite matter because when you have something like a GOATS comp where it's all about the teamwork as opposed to your individual mechanics, I don't want to say that GOATS players don't just press W and M1 the entire time, but that's basically what happens. You're seeing here that sort of teamwork is really winning a lot of these fights. They're able to, they're not getting they're not losing anyone on a flank or anything like that, as opposed to Monkey Business. You're seeing that quite a few times. But once again, we are back on King's Row. And it looks like we're getting the same exact comps. Stoplight, get off of that.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's fake.
It's a fake. You know that you would never dare go Winston on a King's Row map.
I don't think it's even allowed in the rules to have Rhine and Winston at the same time. I think it has to be the Rhine that swaps. I'm pretty sure you can only have the one main tank. I might be crazy.
I believe so. No, that is correct. 20 seconds going in here. I'm very interested to see how these two teams play compared to the last two teams that we saw, Flumberg and the Slumbos and Whooper Fan Club here.
I mean, I do think the statue hold is kind of like there's no need to give up that much space, and it just means you've got less time to push back to Archway should the worst case scenario actually occur. I think holding the choke is just the safer response because already you can see Monkey Business are being forced to press S, and that's just not how Coates wants to play.
if you're seeing a lot of jockeying for position here, a couple of people on each side getting half health, including Monty Kikiland, but as Yunji is the first one to fall there, charge from Stussio, not able to find anyone, and it looks like Deuce is getting caught off there. Shield from Monkey Business, able to keep healing from touching them. Wonderful job there from Monkey Business to win this first fight. And I gotta agree here, I really don't like holding the statue compared to the Arch, because especially compared to when in Rollock, you had something like the May to worry about. You don't really have that sort of thing. You can afford to push up a lot more aggressively, like Stussio is doing. But a beat comes through from Kappa's, and it doesn't matter because Yunji falls first, but Dorito does too. Sound barriers both used, but neither Brig gets it. Only it's a 5v5 here. Nakfi using their Graphitic Flux as two tank ults on the side of Monkey Business. Don't find anything. Transcendence used by Aristotle. So many ults used, but nothing actually coming through here. Jules able to use their Transcendence, keep everyone alive in the nick of time on their Capinus point. First tick going through. Raid boss is incoming. Kikiland, D-Max, that is not what you want to see. Big pin from Stussio, able to take out the Brigida once again, but a D-Mac onto the side of one of the members once again. Stoplights, they use their Diva Bomb, trying to get that Remac going. Beat once again from Vito, keeps everyone up. 2.5 ticks and climbing on the side of Kappa's. They need someone to try to touch here as a Gravitic Flux, Gravitic Flux will actually be able to do that. Graviton Surge, I'm sorry. I haven't seen a Zarya in so long. It's so weird looking at it again. But it looks like after one lost fight, Kappas are able to take a fight as cleanly as you can expect in a GOATS comp there. 4.5 minutes on the clock, and they've already captured Point A.
We saw Monkey Business find Yunji 96% to rally. That was the perfect opening for you to regress as much as you wanted. But you leave the Diva and the Lucio alive just a little too long that you have to sightline the bomb, you have to be scared of the beat. The Brig's able to come back into Kappa's, has the rally if needed, but is able to save it as well. So now you've got that for this fight. Pulled now, the speeds in response for Monkey Business. They've still got the Transcendence if they need to, but it's just going to be a stall for a little bit.
You saw a Bash Shatter coming through there, but it looks like there was a Zarya bubble onto the front line, which really stopped that Shatter from really hitting anyone or causing damage. Both Transcendences coming through here, and it's Dorito that's the first one to fall. They are off the Lucio, but it doesn't matter. They're still dying first. First point, and Stoplight finds a 4K on the back half of that fight. They say red means stop, green go for their team. Nice job from Kappas. They're smooth sailing as they're working their way halfway through point B.
And that was Juice on the Reinhardt recognizing, okay, the bomb's going to come through, need to pin in. Even though Juicio does the counter pin, it still means you're stunned, unable to block out that Diva Bomb. Maybe you would have only saved yourself, maybe you would have only saved a couple of people, but a 4K with the Diva Bomb is not really something you see anymore.
You see a Graviton Surge from Nakfi, and they find up 2 on another 2 ults there. Sure, Kikiland is able to use the Diva Bomb to grab 1, but you lose your Reinhardt. Lizzie Nugs falls after. This Diva is the last one standing after being able to that K. It's like, where's the rest of my team? I'm breaking my back here, man. But it looks like Kappas just perfectly take up point B. Only 15 seconds left than when they started it.
4 minutes on a time bank going into King's Row third is not what you'd perhaps expect from the lower seed coming into this match, but they're playing this perfectly. They're just all grouped together. They're pushing the aggression with every little bit of advantage they're able to eke out. And even as they get into these kind of equal fights with the Shatter, if you just stun it out...
Gosh, that's an Ajax. That's an Ajax. I don't care. It's on a Reinhardt. It doesn't matter. Oh my goodness, what a perfect dash coming through from Unji there. Wonderful job, able to clean up the rest of the fight relatively well. Kikiland gets D-Mech'd, a bubble to try to save them, but it doesn't quite matter. Suddenly the rest of Monkey Business forced back into spawn. They're after going around the other side all the way. But it looks like a Diva Bomb coming through here, stopping a lot of people from hitting it, and Stussio doesn't see it in time. They fall down. Transcendence able to keep a little bit of pressure on here. Monty stopping people on the cart, trying to buy a little bit of time, goofing around and stuff. Kikiland able to find the Diva Bomb. Vito groups off Lizzie Nug as well. And it looks like it's just pound for pound, shot for shot, punch for punch. One person is falling on each team at a time. And it looks like Stussio is taking one for the team. Doesn't matter. That's the only one with flight. But Vito able to take down Monty. Stoplight taking down Blizzy Nugs. And Oh my gosh. They're able to clean it up with 2 minutes, 48 seconds on the clock. Kappas take a full completion on King's Row.
That is a very large time bank to be able to say that you have. It's been a while since we've seen goats just roll through a map like that, but when you're able to just snowball ultimates, use them decently, you don't even have to be getting like perfect efficiency with them, because as we saw from Monkey Business, even as they tried to shatter their own in, if you get stunned out of it, you're not going to find value. Now you're down one ultimate. Monkey Business, they are the ones who have to put the stop on Kappas. Kappas, they just have to keep it rolling. They've got the momentum. They're feeling the flow. We even saw things like Juice shattering into an active Transcendence. It doesn't feel like it's going to get massive value immediately, but what it means is everyone is already on the floor and down some of their cooldowns when they get back up. You're maybe not finding kill off the shatter immediately, but you're finding eventual value off of the response that was forced to come out, because yeah, the trance will be there for most of the time, but not all of the time. And when the Transcendent is up, you're not so scared about being shattered. It lulls them into a false sense of security. You put them all on the floor, and then even just a second of being on your back without a Transcendence up is enough for the Discord Orb to go onto you, all of the damage from the Reinhardt, the D from the Zarya to pile onto one person. If you find just even one pick, that is value, considering we've seen from Monkey Business, Shatters getting blocked, Shatters getting stunned out of, even when you try and coordinate the Bash Shatter with your Brig and your Rein. Just so difficult to find consistent value. Doing it into the Transcendence is a really smart move to make sure you're consistently landing it onto someone, and then maybe you'll be able to find that consistent pick off afterwards.
Kappa is having a really close hold there. You saw Deuce going down to probably 100 health, but they're able to live. Jules is actually able to pick up the first thing. They get a DMAC onto the Diva, and Melee is able to clean that up. I guess they went a little too far in there. The rest of Monkey Business has to give up on this fight almost immediately. That's 30 seconds off your time bank off of just one person dying. Sure, you don't lose anyone else, but it just doesn't quite matter. Kiki Land is back though, hoping to try to go for a second try here. Bash coming through. Stussio probably hates that that's back in the game, especially now that they fall once again. There goes your main tank. There goes another Diva D-Max. Kiki Land falls down. Bino, they like using that beat, able to keep most of their team alive, but still the Reinhardt is down. Hopefully this third time, with having that Deuce far away, maybe even having your Lucio trying to taxi them back as fast as possible. It looks like you're going to get a free point. The rest of the team is just waiting for everyone to get back together. Suddenly, no one even touches before the rest of Kappa is able to get in as a beat comes through on the side of Dorito. Flux coming, or Scourge coming through from Lizzie Nugs. But Napki gets his in by Kikiland. Dorito finds first light on stoplight. There you go, down there. Deuce falls to the Diva Bomb once again. Suddenly this fight is looking much cleaner for Monkey Business after able to getting through that first choke. And the rest of the team is trying to back up, but it looks like they're trying to get chased down by Monkey Business. Charge coming through from Deuce. Suddenly the rest of Monkey Business, they have to give up here. They just have to go back to point, and they are able to cap at the very least.
I mean, that's the thing. When you push up like that, you're forcing resources out of Kappas just so that they can retake space that ideally they didn't want to lose in the first place, and they're still not gaining any kind of defensively objective. They have Archway now, which they're going to be able to play around, but they lost them first in the process. 4 minutes is a decent time back for Monkey Business to work around.
Yet they're able to hold arches here so far. Mani goes to half. Close to going down, but not quite. As Kiki Land, that Diva dropping very low, and there goes their mech to a missile barrage from the other Diva. Wonderful job there. Mani falls down. That's first blood coming through. Kappas picks that up as Stussio now falls down. Suddenly it's looking like a 6v4. Shatter used for good measure takes out Aristotle. Kiki Land falls to a Zenyatta headshot. And it looks like Kappas are going to be able to hold arches for at least one more fight.
Not an insignificant amount of ult usage using your rally, your grab, and your shatter, but you hold on to bomb, trance, and beat, so you can just respond reactively to whatever Monkey Business try to throw at you. If they hit you with the shatter, you just get to beat. If they hit you with the grab, you just get to trance. You've got those responsive ultimates that let you stall out the fight for long enough to build back up to your initiation ultimates like your Earth Shatter and your grab. in that kind of scenario where you've got that room to just kind of chill out for a little while and hold your archway, being able to play the defensive position is incredibly beneficial. And Kappas, now that they've taken control of archway again, which was something that Monkey Business did try to deny them, they're going to be able to stall out this time bank for as long as they want, as we do head into a little bit of a BRB. We've got some internet issues coming through for one of our players, I believe. So, I don't know how long that will be. Maybe we'll see you in a little bit? How are we feeling?
I'm okay just talking a little bit, but it looks like we will just be vibing for a little bit right now. Internet issues, obviously, but it looks like we are going to be going back in right away. It looks like that internet got fixed real quick. Someone gave that a stern talking to. And once again, Kappas holding the archway. They had a nice fight this last one, but they had to use 3 ults to do it on the side of 2 from Monkey Business. Shattered Zero Bomb used from the side of Monkey Business there, but Monty falls down. Riggs on Monkey Business just always falling first in every single fight, but at least this time you get a return kill onto Nakfi. There goes the Zarya. A wonderful part of being able to keep your Reinhardt alive is now down, so you just have the defense matrix and the shields. And it looks like with a spawn advantage, Monkey Business is just trying to back up and recollect as 6 here. Almost just said 5. Been a little while since I played Overwatch 1, that's for sure. It looks like they're returning here. Once again, the Zarya for Kappas is not here. It is a 6v5. Looks like the team is trying to walk onto Kappas here. You see a Discord orb onto Stoplight there. Full charge on this Zarya. Sound barrier coming through to just try to aggress onto the rest of Kappas. And again, it's the Brig that falls down first. This time, Kappas Unji is the first one to fall there. Nice, clean fight here coming through from Monkey Business as they are able to clean up the rest of the fight, no problem, and work the rest of their way through the streets of King's Row.
And it goes all the way back to that archway hold that we saw Kappa's attempt. Jules was holding on to the Transcendence for as long as possible into Blizzy grab, but you lose Nakfi because of your wanting to hold it for as long as you did, and now Monkey Business have 5 ultimates to go in to try and close out second. Kappa's there going to be able to respond, but they don't have grab, and that's going to be the difference maker.
Graviton Surge used there on both sides there. It is a Lucio going down from Monkey Business, but a Shatter comes through from Kappas once again, finds so many people. Hopefully they're able to clean the rest of this fight as Nakfi falls down. So does Aristotle on the opposite end here. It looks like it is a 3v4, maybe 4v4 here. Low heals for Kappas means that Deuce falls down, and in return they're able to get the Diva mech, but it does not matter. There's so many members left on the side of Monkey Business that they're able to win this fight, no problem. Sure, they don't have a Diva mech for right now, but when that's your only issue, you'll take that as you have 2.5 minutes going into the 3rd stretch of King's Row.
Money just staying alive with the rally up means that even though Monkey Business did not have the trades immediately in their favor, they were taking literally 0 damage from the people who were still left alive because the Brig was just able to keep the Inspire and the rally going that whole time. Now Monkey Business, they can take it slow if they want to. They have a grab and a beat that they can utilize, but Kappas, they could take it just as fast if they wanted.
You have a Graviton Surge here coming through, only onto Deuce, but the Transcendence coming through from Jules, able to keep everyone up. You have a beat coming through from Vito there. Let's keep the rest of the team up. Deuce is extremely low, but it looks like no one has even died yet. You see a Trance and beat coming through from Monkey Business. Again, no one dying, and it's Vito that's the first one to fall this time. Monkey Business able to, looks like they're cleaning up the rest of this fight relatively well. They lose their Lucio, but it looks like it's no problem. They're still making cart progress.
It's cart progress, but they're still in a lower time bank than Kappas. Kappas can play this slow if they want and just take their time. Even 1 second that they're able to hold now is just 1 second more of advantage. And yeah, we can see the way that Monkey Business, actually Stussio getting caught out on the fallback, and now Kappas gets a full engage back in.
Deuce wants to keep pressing W, including his left chip as well, but it isn't quite enough. The rest of the team wants to pull him back like they're a bunch of Life Weavers. That hasn't been introduced in Overwatch 1, so he's not used to that feeling. But it looks like on the stretch, it looks like, again, some neutral poke here. You have Stoplight above everyone else, drawing some attention, and that means Stussio is the first one to fall. They fall to Nakfi on the side of Kappas. the rest of the fight is being won by Kappas as well as Yunji and Stoplight able to clean up Monty and Blizzy Nugs there. This Reinhardt pulling up some good work as well, cleaning up the rest of the fight, pushing forward.
You're thinking, where was the bubble there to make sure that Suzu doesn't just immediately die when getting bashed? Sure.
Naki gets it! It doesn't get in. Hopefully it's able to mean that they actually win this fight. As so many ults, they use 6 ults there on the side of Kappas, and they don't get a single pick. Oh my goodness, oh my days. What a flubber coming through here. But
as
it
we were
still
talking
means
about,
that it's going to overtime.
Yeah, it's going to overtime. When Monkey Business also had used ultimates just to try and break that hold, Kappas don't mind using ultimates in that situation because they still get another touch, and it's still not even close for Monkey Business to be able to close out point if Kappas want to be able to re-engage in. They've almost got a Transcendence. As long as they don't get caught out by Shatter or Grab, they're going to be able to make this work. Please touch, please touch. Oh my god.
Oh no.
You can't do that. You can't back off in that situation and be like, no, we'll play it slow and then just forget to leave the spawn room.
6 people alive and no one touches. You saw Stoplight trying to go through the other entrance at the last second, but they weren't close enough to be able to touch. That's a big oopsies. Sorry, tongue twisted. That was a little bit of an oops coming through there on the side of Kappas, but again, you're still up almost 3 minutes to grab a single tick on this first point. It seems so hard for Kappas to lose this, and again, they are the lower seed here. You know, they have obviously a lot of their team is mainly Masters, but they have, you know, some Diamond players on their team as well. Monkey Business is entirely Grandmaster, and they are almost on the edge of losing this, just not even just like close fashion. They're close to just like being 2-0 swept in round 2 here. It is absolutely wild to
And
think
the most
about.
crucial thing we have to look at for both of these teams is going to be the way that they utilize ultimates. When you're in a situation like this, the defending team has to be so like sparing and conservative with the way they use ults. But if they get forced out, they're in a position where they're in, you know, a really difficult, we have to use them but we can't afford to situation. Kappas, they can just build up to 6, take a fight, try again if it doesn't work. Build up to another 6, try again. And going fast, I'm so glad to see them do it.
Yeah, Deuce falls very low there, but a repair pack just heals so much. Monty falls down immediately. Brigidas just don't like surviving in this sort of comp as Deuce goes for the shatter, but not quite able to do it as they get bashed and they go down. Monkey Business are not the champions. Kappas are able to get the 2-0 sweep over the higher seed in a wonderful upset and will take this round 2 victory.
That was a really nice engagement from Kappas where they kind of went really hard to start with and then kind of tempered themselves, just held back for a brief moment. Monkey Business were like, oh, we're going in now, we're taking this fight, they're committing, we'll just try and beat them. They fully engage into it and they lose their brig. As we've seen so many times now, if you lose your brig, it's basically the fight already over. And in that situation where they only needed 1 tick to be lost in order for the whole series to be done, it was the worst possible pick for Monkey Business to have against them. Kappas, really nice little bit of macro there. That was, I mean, I was talking about ultimates, but I don't think anyone even managed to build up to one in time. We saw a crazy pin in from Juice to try and make something happen, but no, just a really nice little like, oh, we'll make you think we're going in, and then we'll back up a bit. You go in, we find the kill, immediate focus fire, immediate kill onto the brig. Okay, let's go again. Just really good from them. Loved it.
That was a wonderful job. They had wonderful coordination there, and they're able to, again, find that 2-0 sweep over Monkey Business in the second round. We will be taking a short 5-minute break before we go into our round 3 matchup, so make sure you don't leave that channel. We'll see you soon. but I think both of them want to be able to make sure they get this final win, set them up well for tomorrow as well. And Will, how are you doing? Because it's a long night for both of us. It's a wonderful night, but it's truly jam-packed with action so far.
I'm a little sleepy, to be honest. The 2 a.m. Goats cast is starting to set in just a smidge. But that's fine. I'm sure the sheer amount of action will wake me up in just a moment. We've got these two teams talking about we are now honestly, realistically, from the way that Goats plays so differently to what most of these teams are used to, I wouldn't be surprised if even the people at kind of the bottom end were able to punch up pretty far in terms of their overall bracket placement. It was done just off of your overall, like, average Overwatch 2 SR, which means that, realistically, if you're just good at Goats and bad at, or well, not bad, but not as good at Overwatch 2, you can just punch up really far. I say bad. Everyone here is like a higher rank than me, okay? I don't get to slander like that. My bad. I'll keep myself in check. I'll just blame it on the tiredness. What I won't blame on tiredness is whatever this Ana business is. You cannot be floating that. Put that away. Go back on the Zen. There's surely no way we're rolling out on Ana. If we do, comp swap. People could get to be excited about that because you won't see that ever again. I'm not seeing a Zen swap.
We are running out on the Ana.
That's a scary prospect. I mean, if you're able to get good value with your anti, but this is just an absolute field day for Feminon if you're able to just completely eat every nade and then run on an honor afterwards.
Yep, you see here, they're both trying to go for the statue, and you see here, with that Ana, you don't have the Zen healing and damage at the same time, which means Tiramisu is the first one to fall down there. Yu drops dangerously low, but they're able to survive so far. An anti-nade coming through, but it does not matter. Yu falls. There goes the Reinhardt. They're missing 2 people so far. Absol gets booped off the map, it looks like, trying to maybe float back to safety, but no, they get demeched. That's not what you want to happen. Caliber, again, falls down to Ocean now. Absol goes off the map as well. Naysayers have won this fight relatively seamlessly, I would say. I don't believe they lost anyone at all there. You're seeing that Auburn Orange there sticking with this Ana here. It's a bold move, Con. We'll see how it plays out. But it looks like it's a very close hold on the side of Naysayers. Gmo, they want to get close up and personal, try to get past the rest of the team to get a shatter through. Doesn't look like they were able to block the shatter, maybe, but 2 people fall to the Diva Bomb on the opposite side there. Excalibur on that Zarya able to pick up Absol before they could remake, but it doesn't matter because GMO, Reinhardt for Naysayers, dies. You see the Graviton Surge and the used also by Naysayers, hopefully try to stall just a bit of time, but it doesn't matter as you lose 2 more people. Nano used there from the Ana as well, and they're able to cap this point after only losing 40%.
A pretty heavy ult investment, but the Naysayers really tried to hold that super aggressively just to try and make it work in the first place. I think they definitely had room to either hold close or full back, but having to push through that choke when Auburn Orange were already there was just the death of them. It gives so much room for them to get grabbed or antied, and that's exactly what we're seeing again now as the Zarya goes off the map.
Tiramisu, that just topples over, but it's a wonderful shatter on the side of Yu, but they aren't able to clean anyone up on the back side of it. Reinhardt falls down. There goes their Squire as well, as that one Panda falls as well. And a quick retake from Naysayers. They're able to maintain the lead, and they're pushing for more. The Sound Barrier comes through from Caliber and almost Ajax, but a wonderful Earth Shatter from GMO finds so many. Phenomenon asleep for now, but they are back awake. You see a D-Mech on the side of Auburn. That's not what you want to see. Absol has to get this mech back, and there it is. Suddenly it's back to a 6v6 going in here. Again, you have Naysayers pushing forward relatively aggressively, just trying to make sure that they can get as much out of this lead as they can. Shatter against the wall. No DM on that one, that's for sure. But the entire team stays alive with the help of that on-nade. Diva Bomb not able to find anyone. Absol falls down before they can remech. Raijin gets the kill credit on that one. There goes the Thunder God, finding a 2k so far. Glowstar, another support, taking another one. There goes a Diva Bomb, just trying to make sure no one stays alive. And Naysayers are having their way with this first point.
It was a really nice grab from Excalibur to try and deny any kind of value from the nano boost that came out from the Toxic Toad. we could see them trying to use that nano as the engagement tool, and it's either Lucio trying to stall out the point, but it's not going to matter if the person who gets nanoed is just caught in a graviton surge and can't make anything work. Surely we clean up these kills anytime now. The Diva immediately going to be defect. Surely, there we go. Sound barrier coming up from Ocean just to try and clean up this fight as quickly as possible, but the pin in. Winston is here in the playing field at the same time as a Reinhardt.
Wait, Excalibur, what are you doing, sir?
I don't think that's allowed.
We might need to get a little bit of a rule book on that one. See what goes on there.
I believe just to come back fast, but whether it's to come back fast or not, that's well, okay, we won't call it because I can't say with certainty, but either way, if Auburn Orange were to pursue that, now you know why the yeah, there you go. Can you be Winston and Ryan at the same time?
Just hide that chat real quick. It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, arguably it did give the naysayers all 6 on point to be able to continue to stall that out, even as Auburn Orange came back with their own pin, with their own ultimate. You did manage to get the Winston off the map, so if that had been a Zarya instead, it would have resulted in a kill, even if the Zarya was there. Arguable, maybe, for there to be some kind of rule booking if one were to be so persuaded to try, but
Auburn
really in the
can
spirit
pursue a
of
rule book, but we're playing goats, okay?
Yeah.
We're playing goats.
It's not in the spirit of it.
You see the Toxic Toad is still on that Ana, and Anti-Nade is good to help make sure your team stays alive with even more AoE healing. But oh my gosh, how did that happen?
Caught
they were
between a
just
rock
in the
and a
middle of the
hard
team and they
place.
still got it. On to Glowstar, GMO falls next, and Excalibur, that Zarya goes Kaputski. The rest of Auburn Orange finally able to get back on their feet here. Village, they're able to get first cap so far on this second point.
Counterpin from Gmo sealing the fate for Glowstar, unfortunately. That is not exactly what you want to see. It's usually the Zarya's job to make sure the break doesn't die in pin in that situation. But if your Ryan is the obstacle against which the enemy Ryan goes against, it's difficult to time that correctly. The naysayers, they have Beat and Transcendence, but as we said before, those are responsible teams, whereas Auburn Orange, they have the Nano Boost now to take the pace of this fight.
Nice Graffiti Plus coming out from Tiramisu as the sound barrier is used and both Reinhardt's drop. Suddenly a Diva Bomb over the side, not able to get anyone there. And it looks like even more Excalibur is trying to go in, trying to be that main tank, but with only those bubbles for yourself, just that one, you're not able to do it. Ocean falling 2 right beforehand certainly doesn't help it. Shatter on 2 from GMO. A shatter from you. Big slam hits no one there. That's just a ping diff, I guess. Glowstar, Ocean, both fall down. That's 2 of your supports. Pin versus pin goes GMO, and Raijin, that Thunder God, has been silenced with a clap. Suddenly, Auburn Orange are turning up the heat, going all the way to 11 on that dial, and they are pulling away on the second point with an Ana.
But they had to use both Rally and Sound Barrier just to maintain this defense. Raijin has the Transcendence, and when you don't have any defensive ultimates, you would expect to be able to make this work, unless you get counter-grabbed early. Nade comes out early, so as well, you're relatively safe if this Rally comes through, but 85% is a lot to work.
You see double Graviton Surge coming through there, not able to find anything yet, as another Diva Bomb from Absol. Not able to find anything, but at least they're able to get the remake kill on GMO! GMO, that's not the way you wanna go! Auburn Orange are pressing the W key, and they're able to take a 100-0 on the second point of Nepal.
Feels like the naysayers are just on a different page on that submap, just not really able to figure out exactly how they wanted to approach, exactly where they wanted to go from. If they'd gone around the high ground, maybe they would have been able to force the Ana away from it. They would have been, getting the Toxic Toad either off onto the low ground or at least forcing a reposition, but just trying to go through that choke, you just get matrixed, and then you get naded, and then you get bashed, and then the Ryan's swinging on you. It's difficult to push through that at the best of times. Maybe the naysayers could have taken advantage of the fact that they didn't have that increased damage coming through from an enemy Zenyatta, but if you're not getting value from your own discords, it's not going to make much of a difference, and when you've still got to get through all of that defensive potential of 3 tanks and a Brigitte, all layering their shields and their matrices and their bubbles on top of each other, it can be a bit of a challenge, and I believe the Zen Discord change that came through recently is still applicable in this code, because it's not one of those things that can be changed, so it will get cancelled and then denied for 8 seconds if you're knocked down.
When it's such a Oh my goodness, it doesn't matter. You fall so quickly because of that discord. They aren't able to keep up that barrier to make sure that they stay alive. And suddenly, just immediately, one person falls. Rest of Auburn has to drop back. Otherwise, they will risk so much. First cap coming through for naysayers. They're all going back to point. It's a nice anti-nade. And because it's from so far away, you can't really get too much on the board. Punishing with that. Diva, Absol, doing good work in the back line, but it doesn't matter because when you don't have that defense matrix, you falls down. Absol also falling down without their other tank to help keep them on. And Panda falls down to Zarya. They lose 3 there for Auburn. They're coming up on some ults, but GMO is looking close on the corner.
The question is, how do Auburn Orange set up the Toxic Toad to be able to make sure that these nades and nanos are able to get value when they engage in? We can see they're trying to take this little side passage, but away from the high ground, they're risking just being caught out again as they go to the point.
They have a nice rotation here, able to go to the side. A huge Graviton surge there as both the Transcendence and a sound barrier. The Diva Bomb isn't able to find anyone but a sound barrier of their own from Caliber is able to make sure that everyone stays alive. There's a Zenyatta in the backline all alone. It's right behind you. Here, let's see, you gotta go for it. 2 supports down for the side of Naysayers. 1 for Auburn Orange. You falls down. Now, suddenly there are no supports for Naysayers. Hopefully the rest of Auburn Orange, they are able to have the point. Hopefully they're able to clean up this fight. GMO goes down to Absol. That Diva picks up a 2K with the rocket thrusters, and Excalibur falls down as well. Wonderful point capture by Auburn.
It was a really nice rotation to set it up, as you mentioned. That was what got the Ana in position to really find value. When she's having to play so far away, it's difficult to make sure your cooldowns land properly, because you are basically in a 5v6 in that situation. The Naysayers are a little bit too slow to respond to it, and so they have to give it the positional advantage. They can't punish in the way that they want to, and now they're the ones who have to recapture when the Ana already has the setup needed.
Very nice anti-nade coming through from the Toxic Toad. Make sure that Diva gets the half as the Diva Bomb is able to distract GMO. But this full charge Zarya able to get that Diva extremely low, but doesn't fall. Huge anti-nade means Excalibur falls down at full charge. Oh my gosh, that boom almost got you.
Almost.
He was able to hold on just in time. Suddenly it looks like Auburn Orange are going to take the lead in .3 here. Wonderful stuff so far. Hope they can get the rest of this going.
5 ults though gives them an opportunity. Auburn Orange, they have the Nanoboost and they have the rally, which means they can just try and live for a really long time this fight if they want, even if they're not intending to try and close it out. The Naysayers, every ultimate they invest here is a win for Auburn Orange because they just get to run down the field.
Yep, getting close to one play territory here for Auburn. That shatter. Big slam once again, ping issue this time on the other side. You've used so many ults on the side of the Naysayers so far. You only have 2 left. You're finally able to get the DMAC onto Absol, but in return, Ocean falls down and your Graviton Surge gets eaten by a defense matrix. Only they're able to clean up the rest of the fight. Excalibur goes hard with 91% charge. Diva Bomb not able to find anyone, but it doesn't matter. Auburn Orange, they're at 99%. They've used a lot of ults though, and they're still in this fight. Hopefully they're able to get out. Absol barely clinging on here. They get demacked. Oh no!
That's a really unfortunate position to put yourself in. Honestly, Absol should have just died, not tried to go for the Diva Bomb. You're in overtime, you can't stall for any longer anyway, so you may as well just die quick. They have to kill you if they want to cap the point. Now you're in a position where you have to build your remake back. Time is ticking. You were at 65, now you're at 80. You're only going to get 1 fight here. Sure, you've got ultimates, but the Naysayers are coming up to rally and grab. They'll build up to another shatter. You've got to be very careful coming into this fight.
See a Samir coming out from Caliber on everyone. You falls dangerously low, but they will get a wonderful shatter here as another Graviton Surge, and suddenly it's a wonderful fight coming through here for Auburn. They lose 1, they lose Caliber, but they get all 6 in return. And it looks like Auburn Orange is going to take Nepal, map 1, in this final round of the tournament.
Really nice beating gauge to take advantage of the fact that the Naysayers didn't really have anything to punish it. They were still just trying to find that last few percentage points on the Graviton Surge. You've got me doing it now. You've got me doing it now.
Listen, you never see a Zarya nowadays, okay? It's not my fault.
I was like, I'll refer to it as Grav. Wait, no, you've been messing it up on Grav. I'll refer to it as the full name, Graviton. Wait, no, that's the wrong one.
It's annoying. It's annoying because Graviton. Wait, no, Graviton is the Zarya one.
No.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, Graviton Surge is Zarya.
Gravitic-
Gravitic Flux is the sick. Oh my.
Uh,
Too much gravity.
it
Let's
is
just get
too
something
much
new.
gravity. They really should just like change, just entirely rework one of the heroes, get the voice actors back in. I'm sure it's fine. Just make it easier for us casters, okay?
Yeah, it's a
Auburn
bit of a pain.
Orange, like we're talking about, they're the 8th seed in this group, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. They're still able to take this first map against the naysayers in this sort of upset.
I mean, it's not just an upset in terms of seeding, it's also an upset in that we're seeing Ana played and it's getting value. We're not even seeing any particularly big, like, anti-heals coming through. Like, they're nice every now and then, but it's not like I'm seeing an anti-nade come through at the start of every fight. You know, everyone's antied and then everyone dies. It's kind of like mostly on the tail end when the fight's already won, just seals it off that little bit quicker that they're really coming in. In a situation like that, when you don't have to worry about that neutral damage that the Discord Orb is constantly chunking in, when you don't have a Transcendence on the enemy team that you have to worry about mitigating your Grav or your Shatter, you'd really be looking to find more value, and yet consistently, Orb and Orange are able to respond to every ultimate that the naysayers put forward. As soon as we get out of a neutral fight, Orb and Orange are the ones that are winning it, and even in the ult fights, they're going equal. They're going pound for pound. Nano Boost is nice, sure, but it requires so much setup, and you lose out on so much of the neutral. The naysayers should really be able to take advantage of this. I'll say it, Nepal isn't even a particularly good Ana map. There's not very many spots where she's happy to go on, and even then, the only one that we really saw was like Shrine, and they didn't post the Ana on the high ground, so the Ana wasn't in the nice spot in the first place. We are kind of looking at the naysayers to be maybe figuring out like, okay, how do we punish this now? When teams aren't as practiced with goats, it's easy to let the reason why certain heroes weren't played kind of slip through the cracks. They need to figure out, okay, how do we make sure that Orb and Orange are punished for using the suboptimal composition here, right? How do we take advantage of their lack of neutral damage, of the fact that we can just mitigate all of their anti-nades, and then we punish them for the fact that they are not running that Transcendence, that they are not running that Discord. Because if you're just exploding as quickly as someone with a Discord Orb, that's kind of just feeding.
Yeah. Even just as a full-on sustain.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're running that, you have so much more aggressiveness with a nano compared to a Transcendence. It's just working so well that I'm a little bit shocked, and I'm a little bit worried in case they use the Aeona here on King's Row, and it looks like we might be getting it. I think that just might be because they've been practicing it much more than a Zenyatta. Like, they must be a much more comfortable Ana player.
Well,
That can be my only reasoning here.
the inverse meta development here. The naysayers have decided that actually they like the Ana as well. Why try and solve it and figure out what it was that made the Ana not work when we can see the Ana working and just copy it? Ocean setting up on the off angle as well to try and get the nade through the choke point. This is a time when holding statue is going to work out for you because you're baiting Orb and Orange into an aggressive push that they're immediately going to regret because they're going to come face to face with Ana's biotic grenade as soon as they walk forwards.
I also really like this. You know, for being an Ana, I enjoy it because Absol has proven that he can go into the backline very often, which means your Ana doesn't have to worry about DM quite as often against like the other backline. There isn't a DM to stoke up for your tank and stuff. But you see here, naysayers are able to get this little arc. They're able to get the rig on rig combat there. Raijin able to find that one Panda, and Absol getting a little bit too aggressive. Just like I said, have to use the bubble from Zarya to try to keep themselves alive and get out of here. But it looks like Auburn is going to be back up to 6 here. They're holding both sides here. I'm interested to see how
Peter going out onto the back line of the naysayers means that both Lucio and then have to play a little bit safer, and as the ultimates come through from Orb and Orange, they're able to just snowball off the fact that it happens. Ocean had the nano boost early, Ocean had the positional advantage to try and make more use of these biotic grenades, but to Toxic Toad, you can see the benefit of the practice coming through even in Goats, landing more of those anti-heals that we were maybe not as supportive of last time as I should have been, because in fairness, they just won the fight off the back of them, consistently landing onto 2 or 3, whereas the naysayers barely getting one each time.
Yep, shield bash coming through onto you. He gets stunned. Really don't like that. But you know what? You're able to stay alive. You still have the brig armor to stay alive. And a grab comes through on the side of Naysayers. It doesn't matter though. Auburn Orange are still cleaning up this fight. It feels like it's just been one long fight, and it feels like Naysayers didn't back up, wait for 6. They might have, but it didn't seem like it was the case. And suddenly, this diva just really isn't enjoying life.
Trying to get towards the cart to make sure that you have to kill her if you want to get any kind of cart progress, but dies just before being able to stall it out anyway. Naysayers now are starting to find a little bit more value on the back of their anti-heals, but Auburn Orange, again, it's the value of practice. They're just doing it more consistently, and now they have the rally armor already up on their Brigitte to go into this. Naysayers have to beat aggressively just to try and break this choke.
But you see what I was talking about in our map, in our first time on King's Row. Oh my gosh, never mind, it was a shatter and a sleep coming through. Stop, shatter! Oh my goodness, Bash did all the work there as a Graphitic Flux there. No, Graviton Surge, able to do some work there. Glowstar, GMO, both go down there. Calvern is anti, but it doesn't matter. They're able to stay alive until the very end as Phenomenon finally able to find that one. But Excalibur barely alive, last one in the fight, and they're able to barely live. As I was trying to say there, as I was talking about in map 1, oftentimes you'll have this Lucio up with the rest of your team that's trying to buy space, so if they try to aggress onto you, even with amp speed, it doesn't matter, because the other team also has an amp speed to get out of there. And that means that Sound Guard was just wasted, just like that Shatter from you was also wasted. Graviton Surge used by Excalibur, not able to fully find anyone, but the Nano comes through onto GMO, means that he has the damage resist to be able to live. He's coming up on a Shatter that's able to find you there, and that one Panda was one of them. Also extremely low. They're at 50 health, but they're able to live just barely. A nice Graviton Surge coming through there from Tiramisu, and you is going to town. Swing, swang, swung. They find a 4K through the ranks of Naysayers, and it's 4:18 on the clock. They're almost capped all of King's Row.
That's an insane time bank. I mean, we mentioned it the last time we saw this time bank, but it's an even more insane time bank, almost a full minute higher. Naysayers have a rally to try and come into this fight with, and it is incoming now. But if you've already lost Ocean...
Listen, at least Caliber on the other side, you traded support for support. A high healing for high healing there. But Absol doesn't care. 2K with the Diva Bomb. You have a Sound Barrier coming out, trying to keep everyone up because you don't have any other supports here. Glowstar is on point, able to stall for right now as GMO is getting some work on the Zarya done. Q goes for a face first Shatter, but isn't able to find it. But it doesn't matter, they still find GMO. Only the rest of Auburn Orange is able to start cleaning up the rest of this fight. Hopefully they're able to get this Raijin on the brig. They are. Pin gets canceled by the Graviton Surge as a Nano comes through onto Excalibur, trying to keep them up. They don't have that second bubble from Overwatch 2 to cleanse themselves of the anti, and that means they fall down. It's a very long stall coming here from the Naysayers as a desperate attempt, but with only Raijin and Phenomenon here to try to touch, it just means that it isn't enough to be able to stop them. And with just under 3 minutes left, Auburn Orange take all of King's Row.
We were seeing the advantage of those defensive Ana grenades just in terms of the stall, where even when the Reinhardt gets low, you get the extra healing boost from a friendly biotic grenade, and then a pack, and almost immediately you're back to full health again. But again, you lose out on the neutral value of, sure, you're keeping your team afloat, but you're not turning the fight on its head. And I think with Ocean going over to the Ana here, whilst it's maybe feeling like the Toxic Toad is getting a lot of value on that pick, it's value that's being given, not value that's really been earned. It should be the Naysayers trying to flip this Ana and go, okay, why don't we just punish them for doing this and take advantage of our extreme amount of healing to stop them from being able to go for it? And again, Ocean now, going back over to the Zenyatta, I think is the right move. The Toxic Toad sticking on the Ana, I'm not surprised by it anymore, and I do think it's working for Auburn Orange. And you can see the time bank, it's working much better than perhaps I ever expected. But sticking over to the Zen now for Naysayers is going to give them that option of, okay, we've got more of the neutral damage, They maybe have more neutral healing and a slight win condition through Biotic Grenade, but we can play the game as we are familiar with it and not get 3 minutes on our defense for Kings. Like, that is a very unfortunate position to find yourself in. That's not what you want when you're trying to solve things mid-map.
It worries me a little bit that they even went to the Ana, because I
Yeah.
don't think that was a plan they had beforehand. They just for that first point and that first touch, and then they just didn't swap it. I felt like a desperate attempt here, and it feels like they're getting worried after losing so much in a row after starting 1-0 up on map 1. But GMO doesn't care. They're pressing W and M1, able to find you and that one Panda, and it doesn't even matter. See, they have the Zenyatta, they win. It wasn't even the Zenyatta that did it, but you know what? We'll call it that. And
You isolate himself off in Hotel, walks away from the enemy team, but not back into their own, so you just get to get a free kill onto the Reinhardt. I believe Absol was there as well, and you just get a kill onto the tanks. That's going to give the Naysayers all this room to push up as much as they want. There's going to be no archway hold this time, because the Naysayers, they get to hold close here. Unless Auburn Orange can find a pick almost immediately, this is the fight.
They don't have a Lucio. Naysayers doesn't have a Lucio. Auburn Orange, this is your opportunity, but it doesn't matter when you get shattered by 4 people. GMO is able to find the pin onto you. There's that Reinhardt. That one Panda falls down to Phenomenon as they get another one onto Tiramisu. Suddenly, it looks like another one fight and a 5v6 for the Naysayers, and everyone else is running with their tails between their legs as Auburn Orange has to go back to the spawn room to try to regroup here, and the Naysayers are holding all the way up at the capture point for B after just tapping, and they have 5 minutes on the clock still.
Auburn Orange, they have this nano boost that they've used as their engagement tool so many times before. They can try and break this hold by using it, but Naysayers, they have ultimates to respond to it with now, 5 of their own, and Auburn Orange aren't even close to the rally that's just being used by Naysayers.
You see several ults used by Auburn Orange, who had the deep bomb, isn't able to find anyone, but you're still able to clean up 2 on the opposite side here. Phenomenon is able to find 1 on the Toxic Toad, and you still have your Shatter coming through. But Orange, you also have your rally. You have a lot of those entry ults, like you were talking about, those engage ults. You still have so many of them here. You use 3 ults, including that rally, which is finally over now. But you have the sound barrier to be able to keep most of the team alive. You get a shatter onto so many people, stun onto 3, but only the shatter onto 2. The Brigitte is the first one to fall. You and Absol are the next one to fall. Sure, you lose Glow Star, but it doesn't quite matter when you trade the Lucio for another Lucio. Excalibur doing wonderful work here. Tiramisu is able to find 1, but the Zarya on Zarya action ends with Naysayers on top, and the Toxic Toad falls off the map. And another clean fight for the Naysayers.
Nano boost not used in the end there. I liked the way that one Panda recognized that the Naysayers were going to go aggressive, used the rally to allow that armor to build up, but when you don't invest the nano boost at the same time, the Naysayers just win in the ult trade. You get the sound barrier, you get literally anything else, and yeah, you just win.
On the side of Auburn here, you have this Graviton Spirit with no Transcendence Mutation, but it doesn't matter when you have the rally giving everyone so much armor. Huge shatter again from GMO. It's a man MTD maintain diff as the rest of the team is able to clean up this fight so well. The Discord Orb is helping them take out you with that pin. Absol's the only one left, but it does not matter. Naysayers, 3 minutes on the clock before even capping. That turns into 4.5 minutes going into the final point, and they have 1.5 minutes to get more time than Auburn Orange.
That one Panda has rally. You can't. Oh, okay, having it forced out this early is terrible. As you can see, the Naysayers able to just kite back and block the shatter at the same time. For Auburn Orange, this is very quickly slipping out of their fingers, but they find 2 off the back of it anyway.
Excalibur and Raijin both go down very early. Yu is able to find so much work there, really messing with my grammatical sense as I have to use that in a third-person tone instead of second-person. Yu finds another as well. Wonderful work so far. They're able to sort of stabilize here. and they're hopefully able to win one more fight of maybe the next two, and they can get the lead. Otherwise, they can also maybe try to hope for a bit more here. But it's looking really dire as things get so intense right away. Big anti-nade means that Raijin goes down before they're able to build the rally, which means GMO also goes down. Self-destruct from Absol. Doesn't find anyone, but they do get the remake here. They're getting able to collapse onto Feminine, but it means that without the second Zarya bubble, they get demeched, and they aren't getting killed either. They're not allowed to swap. They're not allowed to swap.
You just have to try and take this now.
They were only at like 20% before, which means like it really just doesn't matter. But they're trying to go in. They're able to get the remake. And they use a sound barrier for an engage on the side of Naysayers. Gino looking for a shatter here, but it gets perfectly blocked. And the Graviton Surge gets in. Naysayers are cleaning up this fight. They're able to get you. Goes down. There goes a Soldier Boy reference. Sorry for that. Raijin goes down on the opposite side though. Tiramisu trying to get some work done here. Self-destruct means that a pin as well. It means that Absol gets demexed. That one panda goes down to Excalibur. Suddenly, they're able to get the Lucic. Just barely gets out with an inch of their life, doing a little bit more stalling. Sure, Albert has the lead, but they want to go for a bit more. They have, oh my god, it was a shatter from behind the cartons. That Ocean goes down. D.Va, suddenly all alone here. It's just the Brigitte left. And they clean that fight. My goodness, what a massive 69,000 IQ play.
And it's the kind of armor health that you still have up from that one Panda's rally that was kind of pulled halfway through that fight. The Brig ends way in the enemy backlines and just falls over, but you was able to just chill out, recognize that, yeah, we can recontest this, we can go back in. And utilizing that extra armor health with all of the damage resistance it has, goes back in, finds the shadow, turns the fight in its head.
Oh, Auburn, I thought you had an ult tracker on your team. Doesn't matter because you should have known they had a shatter, but it doesn't matter because Absol gets two. There goes a boop, and Feminine goes down. Raijin able to get a pick with the whip shot onto that one panel, but it doesn't matter when the rest of your team falls down around you. Auburn Orange doing a wonderful job here, holding on this last point. Oh my goodness!
A minute and 20 seconds left. They've got the beat and the shatter to work with. Naysays, they need to acknowledge that the time bank is not that scary. Take this fight fast, build some ultimates, go into the next with 4 or 5. They don't have time to waste here, and the more time they spend on this fight, the more advantage they give Auburn Orange.
Ball's gonna have help, but they have the shatter. They're looking for it. They get dashed. They don't get Ajax, but they do get blocked. There was a bomb on the backside. Try to get a remake there as a sound barrier also comes through. Excalibur gets booped by Caliber. There goes a sword-on-sword action there. Shatter comes through from GMO, but they get immediately bashed, which means they aren't able to follow up on it. Suddenly it's just Feminine. They have to go dive underneath the map, and Caliber gets the boop credit for it. Haha! That's exactly what you want to see from a Lucio. And
now we're in the
like
worst possible scenario for Naysayers. 30 seconds left. They took the fight relatively slow. They used their ult bank. They only have Transcendence. Auburn Orange, they cycled their ultimates. They've still got that rally health built up. They've got grab. They've got bomb. Caliber's going to be able to build up to beat. They just have to live 3 fights.
Dewdrop's extremely low, but that bio nade means that they have enough healing to survive. That Ana is finally getting some work done here in a... I don't want to say just now, but it doesn't matter. 3 seconds left on the clock. The Zenyatta is the last one left. Everyone else is trying to touch, but the Lucio is nowhere nearby. Auburn Orange gets the upset in a 2-0 sweep over the Naysayers.
It was just, again, as it is usually with GOAT's the ult usage. You can't invest into fights that are already lost. You can't go that hard when you don't get advantage from winning that. I think Naysayers, they just got a little bit too in their head about like, okay, well, we've got the time bank. Maybe we can beat their time bank. Okay, well, we want to have time bank where we're not going into overtime on this. We want to go now, go now, go now. Always pushing, always aggressing, always rushing. Auburn Orange, much more willing to just fall back. Much more willing to just chill. Okay, sure, you caught one of us out pretty low, but we've got a bunch of Ana healing. You'll just chill for a second. 2 are willing with the Naysayers to go forward and just always be pushing their tiny little advantage that they thought they had, make every single ultimate the ult fight, and it just turned into a situation where they snowballed themselves into the ground. Even as they got to third with 4.5 minutes, I believe that was even higher than Auburn Orange's cap, despite the difficulty they had on first. Naysayers just had it all slip through their fingers, didn't even get it through the second corner of third point, just stuck there, not able to push the cart past, not able to clean up the fights. if they just held their ultimates, if they just chilled out and gone, okay, we don't need to worry about the larger time bank, we just need to complete the map, right? That should be our focus and we'll just play it properly. If they hadn't gotten so involved in trying to beat Auburn Orange, they maybe would have been able to win against them in the long run.
Yeah, you had so many key players also on the side of Auburn Orange, like you on that Reinhardt. Sure, you weren't being the first one to engage into a fight, but you're on defense. You don't have to be the first one to use ult. And that means in the mid fight, when something like a Reinhardt isn't paying attention, you get a free shatter onto 4 people. You get an Diva Bomb from Absol onto 2 or 3 people also. So many ults in the mid fight. Auburn Orange was just able to clean up from such a great play through that mid fight that naysayers weren't able to match. And that was just such a wonderful job by them. It feels like such karma against the naysayers. They just lost everything as soon as they went Ryan Winston. They could not get anything after that. They lost both points on Nepal after that. They lost King's Row after that. They got it close. They had so much time. They had like 4.5 minutes going into the 3rd point on King's Row, but they only got about halfway through that point. Auburn Orange had a wonderful hold there, and it was really awesome to see them do that when they struggled so much in that first part of that map.
It was, I mean, you mentioned it, but from you, just an incredible amount of patience, and that's something that a Reinhardt player really has to have in GOATs. It looks like a lot of frantic, I'm always doing this, but realistically for a Rein, it's, I'm pressing M1, or I'm pressing M2, I'm holding W, or I'm not holding W. You've only got like 4 things you can ever be pressing at one given time, so you can just afford to sit there and be like, okay, well, do I need to hold W right now? No? Okay, I'll just stand here. And it's fantastic to see you just consistently blocking shatters that were essentially just GMO ego shatters for, oh, I bet you're going to block your shield now, and just no, I just won't. I will just stand here. Fantastic play from you, and again, I mentioned it before, but that fallback, recognizing, yeah, we can recontest it, we can get the undercart shatter. I think just a very, very phenomenal Reinhardt player, and it does warm my heart to see.
Yeah, you had such really good work there. It's really awesome also to see the Toxic Toad on the Ana. Even if you didn't really see a lot of the value like you do in the kill feed with something like a Discord orb, they were still able to make it work against a Zenyatta on the other side. And, you know, even when it was an Ana mirror, they were showing that they were better at that comp. And they were doing what works for them. And that's what you want to see. Like, everyone talks about GOATs like everyone just falling into a meta slave. Everyone's just doing the not fun stuff. But you're able to experiment even with this sort of restrictions in this tournament. We're still seeing a lot of that sort of work around where teams are still able to innovate a little bit. You know, that was the first real Ana that we saw. And it was really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be super interesting.
It will be the only Ana we see for the rest of this, but you know.
Well, I don't know, because going into tomorrow and next weekend, it's possible that we've gone to this Ana switch because, like I mentioned before, the Zen Discord in the code, that cooldown it now has on repeat targets, it can't be removed. So maybe they've recognized, okay, well, the thing that made Zen so great, that constant just Discord usage and being able to throw it around wherever, you can't do that. But you can just anti your Reinhardt, right? You can just either get theirs antied or get yours constantly pumped with healing. If a Discord can't be placed on multiple targets quickly, maybe it just doesn't have enough value to justify being the pick this time around. So I think it will be interesting to see as we go into our later days of this tournament, whether this is a staple and whether other teams do start to pick it up and establish, like, actually, we do like this right now. The little changes are enough, we're going to go with it. Or whether another team comes along, goes, okay, well, you've got a Discord on our honor, just destroy her. Kill. Explode with your mind.
Yep, and I would like to say that is going to be all for us today on the cast. This is the first day of this round robin. Tomorrow will be rounds 4 through 6, starting off with Midwest Monsoon versus Goobus at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by Gank Squad 4 versus UKN, Neko Espresso, and GG, 7 p.m. Eastern. So we will see you all then. Hope you all have a great night, and once again, thank you for your time. We would like to thank our casters, or not our casters, I'm sorry, our observers.
Oh, we can thank the casters.
I'm okay with thanking the casters. Willatron, you were fantastic to work with. Thank you so much. Thank you to our observers, Mr. Mountain Mike and Vati, as well as our producer, Echo, I believe they're called. I'm sorry if that's
Hello,
just
Echo.
your Discord. Okay, fantastic. All right, that's all for us again. thank you so much. We hope to see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Take care.
Smash that.